Reading players on their way out as well. Their manager, Paul Ince's son, Tom Ince, there with the mascots walking out on the famous Old Trafford turf. Our fifth and final FA Cup fourth round match of the day on the Talksport network. More to come tomorrow as well on Talksport. Brighton Liverpool at 1:30, followed by Wrexham Sheffield United, Derby West Ham on Monday night as well, where we'll also bring you the fifth round draw. Spurs are in the hat after that 3-0 win over Preston. Will Manchester United or Reading join them? We shall find out. Your commentary team at Old Trafford, Mickey Gray and Adam Bridge.
Thank you, Faye. Good evening, everyone. Manchester United's pursuit of a first trophy since 2017 continues apace, with Wembley beckoning in the League Cup. A place in the fifth round of the FA Cup is next on the agenda for Erik ten Hag's side. But despite their near-perfect record against the Royals, the Old Trafford faithful won't have forgotten last season's shock exit at this stage to Middlesbrough. Now, a lot has changed in 12 months at United, but this is the FA Cup, and this competition loves a story. Enter the governor, Paul Ince, who lifted the trophy twice in his Red Devil playing days and brings his Reading side here with the worst away record in the Championship and one of the worst head-to-head ratios in FA Cup history. Tall order doesn't even cover it. But this is the theatre of dreams, and can Reading deliver the most unimaginable cup upset, or will the unstoppable United home bandwagon keep on rolling straight into round 5? The teams are out, let's run you through them. Erik ten Hag has named a very strong starting 11 tonight. One change from the side that beat Forest in midweek. Harry Maguire captains United in place of Lisandro Martinez. And as mentioned, Marcus Rashford has scored in his last 9 games at Old Trafford, and a 64-year-old record will be broken should he net tonight. Anthony keeps his place as well, having scored on his FA Cup debut against Everton. De Gea is in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Malacia across the back. Casemiro, so crucial to this United side, is alongside Eriksen, with Anthony, Fernandes and Rashford supporting Weghorst up top. No place for Jadon Sancho in the matchday squad. Reading make 2 changes from their 4-0 defeat at Stoke last weekend. Meite and Forner drop to the bench, with Lucas Shaw and Andy Carroll replacing them. Joe Lumley starts in goal for Paul Ince's side, having starred for Middlesbrough in that penalty shootout win here at this very stage last season. The back 3, Yeardom, Holmes and McIntyre. The 2 wing-backs, a familiar name in the Premier League from years gone by, of Junior Hoylett, and of course Baba Rahman, who is on loan from Chelsea. In midfield it's Hendrick and Loom, with Ince tucked in behind Zhao and Andy Carroll, who returns from injury. Carroll faced Manchester United here in the FA Cup in a round 6 tie back in 2016 for West Ham United. The teams are out, we're ready to go. Darren England is our referee. VAR is in use, of course. Lee Mason is the man in charge of that. Reading's first ever use of VAR was here in the FA Cup in 2019, because these two sides do have a habit of playing each other. There's no two ways about it in recent years, with Reading being beaten here twice in round 3 in the last 6 seasons. And we're off and running, and it is Manchester United who get us underway. They are defending the Stretford end in the opening 45 minutes, and alongside me is the former Sunderland and Blackburn fullback, also played for England, of course, Mickey Gray.
Welcome, Adam. Evening, everybody. Well, they call it the theatre of dreams. Well, Reading certainly want to make a dream of themselves tonight. It's going to be difficult, we know that, and you just have to look at this starting 11 of Manchester United. One change, that being Harry Maguire wearing the captain's armband tonight. It's going to be so important for Manchester United to get off to a good start in this game. They want to try and get this tie done and dusted as quick as they possibly can, if they can do that, and I'm sure we'll see lots of changes come the end of the game. But what an occasion for Paul Ince coming back to Old Trafford as Reading manager. Great support and a brilliant occasion for their players to go and showcase themselves at Old Trafford. Absolutely fantastic.
And another tie which Erik ten Hag is taking very seriously. In every competition, his desire to win and progress is very clear. I suspect that 3-0 advantage they take into the game against Forest on Wednesday night is possibly one of the contributory factors to being able to name such a strong lineup tonight. And, well, in the opening minute, I don't think Reading have touched the ball yet. Manchester United very much playing keep ball, with Lindelof, who's 6 or 7 yards inside his own half, now finds Maguire out wide on this right-hand side. Anthony, in a bit of space, cuts infield to Casemiro. They are midway inside the Reading half, with Wan-Bissaka. Casemiro, one of those who's donned the gloves this evening on a very wet night in Manchester. No surprise there, and Ince away now down the right-hand side here for Reading. Their first attack of the game. Across to do some defending is Christian Eriksen, and it's Ince towards the byline. He's forced into the corner then by the attention of Fernandes as well, as Manchester United got numbers back quickly, and Weghorst will sweep things up from midway inside his own half, and Eriksen immediately looking to set Rashford away down that left-hand side, and it needed some good defending in the end from Holmes to get the ball back and safely into the arms of Joe Lumley away to our right-hand side.
Well, I think we've just seen a clip of exactly the way that Reading are going to set up in this game. They're going to try and soak up as much pressure as they possibly can, wait for a mistake from Manchester United and catch them on the break and use that pace of Tom Ince down that right-hand side. We know he's got the ability and the skill, and those chances will come. And the physicality again of Andy Carroll is on the ball right now.
Yeah, he's won a comfortable header there against Lindelof just outside the penalty area. Opportunity here for Junior Hoylett to cut in from that right-hand side, and Hendrick is fouled at the edge of the penalty area, and Reading have the first free kick of the game in a very dangerous position, 2 or 3 yards outside the box and about 4 or 5 yards to the right side of the D.
Yeah, just early stages of the game, but a couple of little mistakes from Casemiro, giving the ball away to give Reading the opportunity to break forward on Manchester United, and this time trying to win the ball back a couple of yards just outside of his own 18-yard area, and this does give Reading a fantastic opportunity early on in the game.
Well, I think Tom Ince may well fancy it. I have to say, possibly some of the worst shirts I've seen for numbers on the back of this Reading side. Yeah. They are in their traditional blue and white hoops, of course. And Andy Carroll is there with a very healthy beard and ponytail as well. And him and Ince and Hoylett deep in conversation, 3 of the most experienced in this Reading lineup. Ince, you feel, will fancy it though for his left foot. There's 4 in the Manchester United wall, and it is Ince who'll take the effort, and it's straight into that wall, and Weghorst is, well, certainly a fairly hefty lump inside that Manchester United wall, and he does his job. Rashford now down this right-hand side as Manchester United look to counter immediately in this game after almost 4 minutes. There's Wan-Bissaka in short to Rashford again. It's laid towards the edge of the penalty area. Here is Wan-Bissaka. Anthony's wide on the right-hand side. Weghorst is inside the penalty area, as is Rashford and Fernandes. Here's Wan-Bissaka, cuts it across to Weghorst, who tried to flick it goalwards, takes a deflection and out of play for what will be the first corner of the game down the Manchester United left.
What a start, what a move from Manchester United. You can just sense every time Rashford is anywhere near the ball, the crowd, the noise goes up. They want him to get that 10th goal in a row if he possibly can. But again, a brilliant move from Anthony and Wan-Bissaka. And how close was Weghorst to opening the deadlock there?
Here's Eriksen with the corner down that left-hand side in the rain of Manchester, in the Theatre of Dreams, under the lights on a Saturday night. Maguire goes in for the header at the edge of the 6-yard box. Can't quite get there, and it's had a play on the far side. Ince with a challenge, and the throw is Manchester United's again, and it's with Wan-Bissaka 4 or 5 yards inside the Reading half on that left-hand side. Malassi is there as well. We saw Luke Shaw struggling with injury, so he's absent today. Still no Dalot as well. We did wonder whether we'd see Jadon Sancho. Erik ten Hag very non-committal in his press conference yesterday about the chances of Sancho playing. We understand he's working hard, but still no sign of him, Mickey.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, even when the substitutes bench was named as well, Adam, I don't know if you're the same as me. I thought I was going to see his name just pop up, because by all accounts he's been working really, really hard to get himself back involved in the first team frame if he possibly can. It's been over 3 months now, and he's got so much ability. You want to see talented players like that week in, week out.
Talking of talent, Anthony, who is getting a little bit of criticism, finds Wan-Bissaka, who tries to pull it back to Fernandes, who was lurking at the edge of the penalty area. It's relentless early pressure here from this Manchester United side, with just that one change from midweek. Erik ten Hag taking this competition incredibly seriously, as he should.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Every single time Manchester United play now, he expects them to go and win football matches. Wanted them to get back to winning ways against Nottingham Forest. Well, they certainly did that.
Early ball in from Rashford, finds Weghorst inside the penalty area. Defending needed, and Weghorst gets it back again. Rashford, edge of the box, is taken down, and well, this is going to be in Rashford range for a free kick, about a yard outside the box, 2 or 3 yards from the left-hand corner, but it will certainly suit his right foot. Eriksen's over there as well, and I suspect Bruno Fernandes is slowly making his way over to him.
Yeah, he certainly is, Adam. Julian Hoylett there, not really using his experience, just poking out a leg in front of Marcus Rashford. given a foul away in a pretty similar position to where Reading have just had theirs. But I keep going back to it. I think when you're on 9 goals in a row at Old Trafford, I actually thought Marcus Rashford would take this free kick, but maybe it's a little bit too tight, the angle, so it looks it's going to be Christian Eriksen who's going to be taking this one.
Yep, it's Eriksen who's lined it up. There is a Reading wall, of course. In fact, everyone is back apart from Tom Ince inside the Reading penalty area. Joe Lumley away to our right-hand side in the Reading goal has set his 4-man wall. Jeff Hendrick just lurking off the edge of it as well. Eriksen, hand on hips, white shorts, that traditional red Manchester United shirt, gets the free kick in and it just dips and bounces to the left-hand upright of Joe Lumley. It's a really good effort from Christian Eriksen, not too far away from breaking the deadlock, but 7 minutes gone here on Talksport. It's Manchester United 0, Reading 0.
You have to say Joe Lumley's probably just took a huge breath, hoping that ball was just going to whip past that far left-hand post. Well, it did that. He got a lot of pace, whip and dip, so it was heading down into the bottom corner. And Lumley could only just watch it go by his goal post. Well, that is the threat that Manchester United have got. You can see the intent of how they've approached the beginning of this game so far.
This place has been a bit of a fortress throughout this campaign, of course. Not only has Rashford enjoyed playing here, but so have Manchester United. Just 2 home defeats in all competitions early on, of course. That opener against Brighton and then against Real Sociedad in the Europa League. But since then, been impregnable here. Here's Rashford towards the edge of the penalty area, about 20 yards out from goal, on his right foot, just being tracked by Ince. Lifted to Wan-Bissaka at the edge of the box down the right-hand side. Here's Anthony, who slips inside the penalty area. And it'll be a chance to get it clear this time from the left boot of Tom McIntyre, the Scotsman who gets it up this near touchline, but only as far as Casemiro, who combines with Eriksen, and then Anthony and Wan-Bissaka to form a nice little triangle with Casemiro. And United will go back to halfway and look to come again, this time with Lindelof. Infield to Eriksen, who chips the ball forward. I think he was anticipating a run from Marcus Rashford that didn't materialise, and it's well held in that right-hand corner by Hoylett, who'll break away for Queen's Park Rangers.
Fantastic. Junior Hoylett looked as if the ball was going to run out of play. Marcus Rashford going over, put a lot of pressure on him, used his body strength just to turn him out the way. We know Hoylett is a very quick player. We've seen him over the years. But what I would say, Adam, is you always come to Old Trafford with a game plan, and you can see the way Reading are setting themselves up. Again, everybody behind the ball, they're making it difficult for Manchester United to break in behind them. But when you do you have to get hold of that ball. You've got to create some possession at some point in the game. Yes, it's early. You've just got to stay composed. They've done okay. They've had a good start to the game.
Manchester United 0, Reading 0. 9 minutes played on Talksport. The 6th of our FA Cup commentaries this weekend so far. 3 more to come. Tomorrow and on Monday evening, of course. As Lumley has this at the edge of his 6-yard area. 5th of the day today. It's been wall-to-wall FA Cup action, and we've still got boxing to come tonight as well. I'll give you details on that shortly, but Reading playing around with it inside their own half right now, and it's picked up on that right-hand side and brought forward this time by Yeardom, who's up towards halfway and clips the ball forward to try and find Andy Carroll. Lindelof this time under no pressure wins a comfortable header, and as Ince tries to get on the loose ball, he runs it out of play for a throw down that left-hand side, midway inside their own half for Manchester United.
Well, it's the right ball from right down the centre of the pitch to try and get Andy Carroll involved in the game as much as you possibly can, but the quality's got to be better. We know he's such a threat in the air, Andy Carroll, whether it's flick-ons or whether he's holding the ball up. This is going to be a difficult evening for Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof and those 2 centre-halves, if they can get the quality better, Reading.
Trying to work it down that right-hand side again, Reading, as the ball cannons off the corner flag after good work again by Junior Hoylett. Out of play for a throw to Reading in the far corner in front of the imposing Stretford end. Paul Ince at the edge of his technical area. 281 appearances here for Manchester United in the red double shirt. Plenty of honours, of course, during his 6-year spell, including those 2 FA Cup victories. He actually scored in the campaign back in 93-94 in the 5th round against Wimbledon, en route to that Wembley victory for Manchester United. As Anthony cuts in field back inside the centre circle, where he finds Lindelof. Malacia on that far side, it's Bruno Fernandes in possession, just hugging that far touchline for a moment. Back inside to Lindelof again, and the sweep will come forward over halfway. 201st appearance for Manchester United tonight. And 200 brought up in that victory over Forest in midweek down at the City ground, and keeps his place and reunited with Maguire as he was for so many seasons at the heart of that Manchester United defence. But the home side just happy to keep the ball here. Very compact shape from Reading, who are being pressed back into their own half by Malacia down that left-hand side. And again, Eriksson has now just popped in between Lindelof and Maguire, and it's a patient build-up for Manchester United. And Malacia again is forced backwards, and it's good defending from Reading. Yeah,
it has to be patient tonight for United. You can see Reading, everybody behind the ball, so they just have to wait for their opportunities and come up with a bit of brilliance, Manchester United, which they certainly can do.
Anthony's ball is deflected out wide here to Wan-Bissaka, quite fortunately. And Wan-Bissaka is just challenged on this occasion down this left-hand touchline by Baba Rahman, of course. Everyone kind of forgets that he's still a Chelsea player on loan here at Reading for a second campaign, having spent some time out the country at the likes of Mallorca, Reims and Schalke. And there's a cheeky little challenge that time on Weghorst, who's gone down. It was Holmes who made it. Quick word from referee Darren England, but no card, Mickey.
Yeah, maybe because it's early. And you can see about Weghorst is just stretching out his right foot just to try and get in front of Thomas Holmes there. And he's reaching out, isn't he, the centre half, and he makes no contact with the ball, and he just clips down Weghorst, who's a big man. I have to say, I've seen him quite a lot at Burnley, but he's agile with it as well. His movement's very good. He likes to interlink with the play, likes to get himself involved, which is absolutely fantastic. But again, this is another opportunity. Yes, a little bit further out from Manchester United, but when you've got the power and the quality like Rashford and Fernandes standing over it, is it going to be a shot, or would you just try and cross it into a dangerous area early on in the game?
Quite surprised that it's an FA Cup debut for Weghorst tonight. Didn't feature in his time at Burnley in the competition. So first time in this wonderful tournament. As Rashford is going to go direct with this one, which he does. It's beaten away. Eriksson with the follow-up is well blocked inside the 6-yard area. Terrific strike from Rashford on target, but Lumley was equal to it. Ball's kept in on this right-hand side. It's back with Fernandes, who whips it into the penalty area. Headed away again as far as Anthony down this right-hand side, level with the penalty spot. Anthony with some trickery tries to get towards the byline. He's blocked off that time by Rahman, and now it'll be brought clear by Ince on this near side. Anthony will go in with a challenge out of frustration more than anything, and it's a free kick to Reading.
Well, do you call that a let-off? What a strike from Marcus Rashford. Kind of like Ronaldo's when I think it was Aston Villa, David James was in goal. He just didn't know which direction it was going in, and Lumley sees it late, and he was just absolutely fantastic. He just shuffles across to his left-hand side. He's got that whip on it. There's a lot of pace on it. He has to keep his eyes on it. It's to go down as a very good save, and the follow-up from Christian Eriksen, you're just waiting for the ball to hit the back of the net. But again, Reading defenders throwing their body on the line. That's what they're going to have to do.
Lumley takes the free kick, the long one launched forward. We've had 15 minutes on Talksport. Manchester United 0, Reading 0. Wan-Bissaka on this right-hand side finds Lindelof again, and they'll build from the back. Erik ten Hag has, like Paul Ince, advanced to the edge of his technical area. Ince has got Alex Ray alongside him, who I heard an interview with him saying prior to the game against Stoke, all talk of Manchester United was banned around the training ground. He's not the kind of person you'd argue with, Paul Ince, is he?
No, or Alex. I've been in a dressing room with Alex quite a lot, and he's a very fiery character, Alex, I have to say. But you have to earn the right, Adam. These players had to earn the right, albeit their last performance against Stoke City wasn't great.
Long ball over the top this time for Rashford, who's chasing after it, but he's tracked all the way by Hoylett. It's out of play, and will be a goal kick away to our right-hand side for Reading, a chance to clear their line. So reminder, tomorrow then on Talksport, Brighton against Liverpool. All our coverage gets underway at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's followed by Wrexham against Sheffield United, and then our final FA Cup tie is on Monday night. A real banana skin for West Ham United. They're at Derby, who are flying, of course, in League One, and we'll have the draw as well for the 5th round of the FA Cup from 7 o'clock too. And that's the rest of our weekend of FA Cup coverage. Plenty of other sport across the Talksport network as well tomorrow morning on Talksport 2. We've got the second one-day international between South Africa and England. That's on Talksport 2 from 7:30 in the morning. Anthony into Eriksson inside the box. Good defending. He's forced out of the penalty area on this right-hand side where he finds Fernandez. Anthony at the edge of the penalty. On his left foot, bends one, and it was curling all the time, but just wide of the right-hand post of Joe Lumley, who went down, and well, he may have had it covered, but the bend on that from Anthony looked like it was going to creep into that bottom corner.
Just had a rusher at the last moment, Anthony. Great little reverse pass from Bruno Fernandes, but you can just see there's a couple of Reading players just trying to close down Anthony. He had to kind of rush his shot a little bit. It just curls past that far post yet again. But it's all came from Reading. Andy Carroll tried to head ball down to one of his teammates, giving the ball away. And in a split second, Manchester United are up the other end of the pitch trying to get themselves a goal themselves.
The possession stats don't make pretty reading for Paul Ince's side. 82% for the opening 15 minutes for Manchester United, but they've done nothing with it yet so far. 17.5 on the clock on Talksport. Manchester United 0, Reading 0. Right-footed ball forward by Casemiro down the middle. There's a appeals for a handball on this occasion against McIntyre, waved away, and Weghorst tries to close down Lumley, who has to clear his lines very quickly. Yeard on with a header. Now it breaks to Fernandes, who was just going to try and put Rashford in quickly, who'd made the run down that inside channel on the left, but it's comfortably cleared and will be a throw for Manchester United all the way back at the edge of their own penalty area.
Well, they're hanging on, Reading, at the moment. It's an onslaught from Manchester United whenever they pick the ball up and get on that half turn with Casemiro, Fernandes and Eriksen in that midfield area. You just see the forward players of Anthony and Rashford just waiting and trying to get in behind. And Reading, they've just got to try and get a stranglehold in the game and just give themselves a little bit of a breather if they get that opportunity of maybe keeping hold of the ball for a minute or turning Manchester United and making the pitch a little bit bigger.
United with possession again, as they have had for the majority of the opening 18.5 minutes of this game here at Old Trafford. It remains 0-0, and it's with Lindelof to Maguire, and Reading's record is truly awful against Manchester United. This is the 23rd meeting between these two sides. They've won just one of those games in all competitions, although that did come in the FA Cup back in 1927, so a mere 96 years ago in the third round. It was in the days where you had a second replay at a neutral ground, and they were victorious at Villa Park on that occasion. Ever since then, it's been a fairly torrid story and very one-sided when these two sides have clashed. It's with Lindelof, who just tries to dribble the ball through to Casemiro, who had advanced towards the edge of the Reading penalty area, and they'll get it clear here with Lumley having to deal with that quickly because Fernandes closed him down. He had been sold up the river a little there by Tom McIntyre. Didn't have too much time to deal with that.
I think Joe Lumley's probably had more touches for Reading than any other player. The ball just seems to be like a magnet at the moment. It's attracting the goalkeeper. He's just having to clear his lines, and then it's Manchester United picking up the ball again and working their way through the lines and hopefully creating opportunities. And that's why I say I think they've got to try and get Andy Carroll involved in the game a little bit more, because he is strong. He does hold that ball up very well. Easier said than done.
Yeah, very much so for Andy Carroll, who's, you'd say, at the age of 34, entering the twilight maybe of his career. Second spell, of course, at Reading. He interspersed that with a short sojourn at West Bromwich Albion. And fairly bitter when he departed as well. Had plenty to say about his time there under Steve Bruce when he rejoined Reading. Right down the left-hand side is Rashford here for Manchester United. Malacia inside the penalty area. Left-footed ball cut back towards Wan-Bissaka. Anthony takes it down, tries to get the shot. Weghorst there, deflected over the bar and out of play for a corner.
Well, I have to admit, I was just waiting for the linesman to put his flag up there because it looked like Weghorst was in an offside position. It was very, very strange. But he did get his strike away. I had a look down at the linesman. He waved his hand away to say that he was onside. But he was given the opportunity yet again from a lovely little through ball over the top. Nice play down that left-hand side from Malacia.
Now here's the corner for Manchester United down that left-hand side. Eriksen will deliver again towards the near post. It's a really good header away by Yeardom. It's picked up again on that left-hand side by Eriksen. United will take their time. Wan-Bissaka has it. It's 10 yards inside the Reading half. The attempted cross is blocked out, and it will be a throw again on that far side, which Eriksen was thinking of taking, but has then changed his mind. And now it's back with Maguire, who's 10 yards inside the Reading half. We've had 21 and a half minutes on Talksport. It remains 0-0. Weghorst, edge of the penalty area. Rashford's gone inside the box towards the byline. Looks to cut it back on his right foot. Pulls it to the edge of the area where he's looking for Ericsson. It wasn't the best of passes. They've kept it alive here though. Carroll can't cut it out. Anthony on his left foot tries to bend one again. This time into that top right-hand corner. But this one's well over the top of the crossbar.
A little bit rushed that from Anthony. He had so much space in front of him. Again, good play from Rashford down that left-hand side. When that ball just falls to Anthony there, has he got enough time just to curl it towards that top corner? Again, it just looked a little bit rushed, as if he was leaning back a little bit too much. They're knocking on the door, United, but really haven't had that clear-cut opportunity that they're expecting.
After us tonight here on Talksport, it's Fight Night Live. Adam Catterall and Gareth A. Davis live from Wembley. Anthony Yard takes on Arthur Beterbiev. The undercard is currently live over on Talksport 2. The main event should be an absolute corker, and it's live once we're done here at Old Trafford. Remember, replays still in action in the FA Cup, so there'll be no extra time and penalties as Rashford tries to break away down this left-hand side. Lumley, though, has got the measure of that and lets it run out of play, and it'll be a goal kick to Reading away to our right-hand side. We're beyond the midway point of the first half, and Mickey, if you're Paul Ince, you're very happy at this point.
Absolutely. I'm looking at Paul in the technical area. He looks very relaxed. He's obviously passing on information to his players using his experience. But they've been disciplined in what they're doing. They're keeping their lines. They're making it hard for Manchester United to get in behind them. Of course, they have done on a couple of occasions. But I think he would have been hoping and praying, Paul, for the first 20-25 minutes of this game to stay 0-0 in the tie. And again, they've probably come into this, Adam, thinking if we get one chance in this game, that's all we need. As long as we can keep a clean sheet, it's that one big opportunity we're looking for.
Thoughts of Mickey Gray, who's alongside me, Adam Bridge, here at Old Trafford for this fifth FA Cup commentary of the day from round 4 of the greatest cup competition in the world. A draw for round 5, of course, on Monday night, just after 7 o'clock, and that precedes our coverage of Derby against West Ham United here on Talksport. Remains 0-0 here into the final 21 minutes or so of this first half. And again, Manchester United with plenty of possession. Ball through to try and find Fernandes. Takes a little deflection that time off Holmes. Here's Fernandes on a tight angle. Goes back inside towards Anthony, and it's cleared away by Rahman, as now it's forward by Maguire. Ericsson gets it back to Casemiro. Dinks it in towards Rashford, had made the run inside the penalty area. But again, it's a good header away that time from Tom Holmes, who's playing in the middle of the 3 centre-halves for Reading. Second FA Cup game of his career for Tom Holmes. Played in the game against Kidderminster last year, of course, where they were beaten in round 3, Reading, by 2-1. Not the best of days for the club. Huge day for Kidderminster Harriers, of course, who went on to narrowly lose in round 4 against West Ham United. Here's Maguire for Manchester United. Oh, the chase is on. Rashford might get in here. It's defended, and Weghorst is there, and he was tracked all the way that time by Yeardom, and he did enough. It's a really clever run from Rashford and a very nice ball, and it almost opened up that Reading defence.
Fantastic. Great ball, I have to say, from Harry Maguire from back to front to try and pick out Rashford.
Maguire again just trying to slip it through to Fernandes. All the action is camped inside the Reading half right now. Maguire now looking to switch the angle of attack out wide to that left-hand side again. And Lindelof will just pick the ball up and drive forward for Manchester United. Far touchline, Rashford's got it. Ball at feet, slips it in. Malacia just tries to hold it up nicely. Does well, looks to find Fernandes. Ericsson from the edge of the box, and it's blocked again. More bodies on the line for Reading inside that penalty area to block that effort from Ericsson. And his ball in's a clever one. It did take a deflection that time off McIntyre inside the box, and then Weghorst tries the spectacular volley, and it's over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick to the visitors.
They're so much better, Manchester United, when they go through the gears. Those little intricate passes around the edge of the area. Brilliant play from Malaysia. You're thinking again, Ericsson's got so much time, but 3, 4, 5 Reading players just standing in front of the ball. I think it's Tom McIntyre who gets himself in front of this strike from Ericsson. What an effort from Weghorst. Away from goal, his back's towards goal. One touch, still in the air. Tries to turn and swivel and volley it towards that top corner. Just a little bit too much height on it, but he's brought something different to Manchester United.
Certainly has. Carroll wins that first header, but again, Manchester United can pick up possession. Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand side. Lovely ball to set Anthony away. Anthony cutting in from the right on his left foot. Edge of the penalty area. Finds Fernandes. Has a first touch and then tries a delicate little chip into the top left-hand corner. But it goes wide of Lumley's post quite comfortably in the end. He takes his time, takes a drink, which he's very much famed for. But again, devastating break from Manchester United, but still not finding the breakthrough.
And it starts down that right-hand side with Wan-Bissaka. Lovely through ball to Anthony on that right-hand side. And that's what I want to see from him. Breaking forward, using that pace and the quality that he's got in the final third. We want to see it more. He's pulled back, yes, albeit it's a little bit behind Bruno Fernandes, but he's still able to get his strike away. Tries to be a little bit cute just to curl it into that top corner. But much better play when they go through the gears quicker.
You're listening to Manchester United versus Reading in the FA Cup live on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Manchester United have possession again. Almost 28 minutes played at Old Trafford. It remains 0-0. Down the left-hand side is Eriksen, and again he was expecting a move from Rashford, who didn't follow, and Lumley will gather it at the edge of the penalty area. The ball was tracked all the way inside the box by Yeardom, and at this moment in time, Paul Ince down below barking instructions, will be a very happy man.
Yeah, there's been a couple of occasions where I think where sometimes you get caught out as a championship player is you watch the ball, but on this left-hand side, Baba Rahman's done it on a couple of occasions. He's stayed with his runner when they've tried to do a little 1-2 around him, and we're also just seeing it yet again there from Yeardom, staying with his man, not letting Weghorst get anywhere near the ball. He's just shielding the ball so the goalkeeper can come and collect it. They've defended really well. I have to say the organisation's very good from Reading, but it's that midfield area. It seems to be being bypassed. And look, it's very difficult when you've got the quality that Manchester United have got, but they're staying disciplined, and I like that.
I was going to say, I don't recall saying Hendrick or Loom's name through the entire opening 28 minutes of this game. They are there, believe me. I think Hendrick's had one move forward, but all the work being done, certainly on the flanks and by the centre halves right now. Here's one of Manchester United's two, that's Lindelof, who finds Eriksen, who's again dropped deep to see if he can affect play and create something devastating for Manchester United. Rashford with the early ball in, looking to find Fernandes. Hacked clear, but only as far as Maguire. And Maguire's stepping midway inside the Reading half to gather that ball. Here's Casemiro. Weghorst. Casemiro over the top to Wan-Bissaka, who'd continued the run inside the penalty area. And it was a legal challenge in the end on Tom Holmes. And it's punished by referee Darren England. And that will be a free kick for Reading with inside their own penalty area.
Looks very difficult for United to try and break through the centre area of Reading's back line. Looks like they're going to have to go into those wide areas and just hope and try and put some quality into the box, because there's numbers there. Fernandes is getting himself into the 18-yard box. Rashford, Weghorst, Anthony over on this right-hand side, and they're always going to have those willing midfield runners, but that little bit of quality. This is where I say that defenders have just got to stay switched on. When that ball comes anywhere near, if there's nobody around you, just clear your lines, take a breather.
Hoylett does well, finds in the middle of the park Jeff Hendrick. Now coming forward down this left-hand side is McIntyre, taken off his toes by Wan-Bissaka, and it's picked up by Weghorst, who's come deep. He's midway inside his own half, where he finds Maguire. Maguire's brave and just takes on Lucas Shaw, and Casemiro and Lindelof will combine midway inside their own half, and Manchester United will work it then out wide to that left-hand side and try to come forward again, but good pressure on that occasion from Tom Ince has forced them back inside their own half. Rashford's not chasing that long ball through because he was in an offside position. Eriksen does. Oh, Lumley has a first touch, and Eriksen almost closed him down. He managed to get it out from under his feet, but only just, and a heart in mouths moment there for Reading fans and for Paul Ince.
He's going to have to do that a lot quicker, Joe Lumley. That's two occasions. Weghorst was the first initial one who closed him down. A little bit of pressure, got his clearance all wrong. This time Christian Eriksen looked as if he was a mile away from it, but made up the ground. Absolutely fantastic. Another little let-off for Reading.
I mentioned they have the worst away defence in the Championship. 28 goals they've conceded in their 15 games. Just the 3 clean sheets on the road, and the last of those came against Luton back in November. So to go through 31 and a half minutes here and not concede, considering the amount of pressure they've been under from a Manchester United side who are dominating possession, it's a creditable performance so far from this Championship side. They're live 14th, of course, not far outside the playoffs. There's frustration there from Tom Ince, who felt he was fouled about 15 yards outside the penalty area. His frustration continues while Manchester United get on their bikes down this right-hand side. Anthony again, cutting in on that left foot of his. What's he got this time? He's got Fernandes in! And Fernandes drags his shot wide from about 10 yards out.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant wing play again from Anthony. And I've probably been one of his biggest critics. Well, he's enjoying his football tonight, there's no question about that. Whenever he picks the ball up, he's direct. He's given Baba Rahman an absolute nightmare time in that left-back position in a 1v1 situation. Doesn't know whether he's going to go down the line or work it back onto his left foot. Plays a super little through ball to Bruno Fernandes there. And Bruno Fernandes is just, he knows where the goal is, just trying to wrap his right foot around it. Gets it wrong just at the last moment, but again, it's that movement from Manchester United. Reading, just they can't live with it.
Lumley with a long clearance. Maguire will pick it up at the edge of his own penalty area, and United will build again from that far side. It's dropped in short to Lindelof, who looks to switch play to the right, where Wan-Bissaka is driving forward in the absence of Dalot, a fixture in this Manchester United side at the moment. There have been times where maybe you felt his career at United had stalled a little bit. There were a few clubs showing some interest in the summer, and there was talk again of a potential move in January, but he's almost become a fixture in this United side.
Been outstanding, absolutely outstanding. I think one of the teams was Wolves that was looking at him.
Rashford's in there as the ball comes forward from Maguire again, but it's well defended this time, and had a play for a goal kick to Reading away to our right hand side. As I mentioned, it's our fifth commentary of the day today. Plenty of other fourth round action, of course. We started the day with Walsall 0, Leicester City 1 at lunchtime on Talksport. Accrington Stanley 1, Leeds United 3 was our game on Talksport 2. An entertaining 3 o'clock kickoff took place between Fulham and Sunderland. That needs a replay after that finished 1 apiece. And of course, it was Preston 0, Tottenham 3 in our 6 o'clock kickoff. Plenty of other replays around as well. Sheffield Wednesday and Fleetwood will meet again. Luton and Grimsby. Ipswich and Burnley, who played out a goalless draw, and Blackburn and Birmingham City as well. They actually meet on Tuesday, so a quick turnaround for those in their replay. Ball through from Casemiro. Weghorst going to win a good header, which he does to the back post. Rashford's there. Has it crossed the line? The header's gone in, and it's a goal! Marcus Rashford has scored for Manchester United. His 10th home game in a row. He's a record breaker, is Rashford. There is no place like home, as he's managed to break the record that's been set since 1959. He equalled it last time out. He's broken it tonight. Rashford is a record breaker, and Manchester United are in front. It's Manchester United 1, Reading 0.
Well, Sheriff Tiraspol, West Ham, Aston Villa, Burnley, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Everton, Charlton, Manchester City, and now Reading. 10 out of 10 for Marcus Rashford. A long-standing record at Old Trafford has just been broken, and from one of the local boys. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's been coming. His form is just sensational right now. He's one of the hottest properties in European football, and he's just alive, he's alert. It's a great pullback from Weghorst to pick out Rashford at that back stick, and he just gets enough pace on it, keeps it low to find the back of the net, and it's just absolutely brilliant. I mean, what else can you say about Marcus Rashford this season? His form is just absolutely sensational.
Well, hang on a moment. VAR is having a look at a potential offside when Casemiro played the initial ball through here. So maybe the celebrations, and there were celebrations, every Manchester United player went over to him. The goal is going to be cancelled out, because when it was initially played forward, Weghorst was offside. It took a deflection off a Reading player. So actually it's not as simple as just being offside. This will be a decision for the Red. Well, it has been given as offside, Mickey.
Ah, wow. I mean, you talk about tight decisions. It's a right call. We've got the screens in front of us. We were able to see it quite quickly after the goal was given. But you can see that Weghorst is in an offside position. He's still having a word with the referee now, Darren England, Weghorst. But that's what we have VAR for. It's the right call, and Marcus Rashford is going to have to wait a little bit longer to break that record, Adam.
It is a matter of inches. It was, as the ball was played forward, it did come off the Reading defender and then loop to Weghorst. But when the ball was played initially, Weghorst was in the offside position. And we know what the offside law is like. Well, that one's knocked forward this time on this right-hand side by Casemiro. Trying to find Rashford again, but he was in offside position. Every Manchester United player went over to Marcus Rashford. I think the biggest hug came from Harry Maguire for quite some time, his England colleague.
Yeah.
The celebrations were wild, and quite rightly so, but it's been ruled out.
Yeah, and it was so difficult to see in real time, wasn't it? I mean, it was really, really tight. We weren't really looking at Weghorst because he wasn't involved in the build-up play until he headed that ball back across the 6-yard area. But that's what VAR is there for, and Marcus Rashford's probably headed that ball into the back of the net thinking, wow, 10 out of 10, my form just can't get any better. But yeah, it is the right call, and they're going to have to do it all again, Manchester United, because as it stands, look, we're coming towards half-time and it's still 0-0.
Well, the word I'd written down was unstoppable, but it would appear VAR can stop him. That seems to be the only thing at the moment that can deny Marcus Rashford. Here's Maguire, out wide to Rashford on the far side, who takes that down. Maybe he can do it all himself this time, cutting inside the penalty area and just tried to lay it back inside the box where Malacia and Eriksson were waiting, but it's well cleared this time by Loom, and had a play on the far side for another throw to Manchester United. Forced dawn of a goal then, 38 minutes gone here. It's Manchester United 0, Reading 0. Maguire over the top, Casemiro's there, knocks it down towards Eriksson, almost gets there, but Hendrick with the clearance from inside the penalty area. The bearded Andy Carroll tries to help it on its way, but doesn't quite manage it. Here's Casemiro to this near side, where he finds Anthony on that left foot of his, closed down by 2. Tries to get the crossover, which is deflected into the air and is cleared by Ince from the edge of the penalty area. Only to Maguire, who's at the edge of the centre circle. Now down the left-hand side, it's Malacia. He's got Fernandes outside him on that left-hand touchline. Infield he goes. Rashford, 25 yards out from goal, tries to go beyond Giardon that time, but doesn't quite manage it. And they get back in shape here, Reading, with a 5 across the back, and there's 4 tucking in. Everyone is deep inside the Royals' half. Every single blue and white hooped shirt. And Manchester United are in there too. Maguire is the furthest back, and he's not even at the centre circle. That's how much pressure they're putting on here. Fernandes into Weghorst. Knocked down to Wan-Bissaka. This near side Anthony. Oh, lovely little flick. Wan-Bissaka towards the byline. Cuts it over. Comes towards Rashford in the box after a little flick from Weghorst. He'll hold it up on that far side. He's got it on his right foot. He's closed down, but he still finds Fernandes inside the penalty area. That's a penalty, is it? No, the referee says no. Waves play away. The challenge inside the box has been waved away by Darren England. And, well, VAR will have a look, of course, but Casemiro was the player that went down. And there is a moment. There's a Reading player down. It's Giardon just outside the box. And the referee will halt play for a moment.
Well, not for me, Adam, I have to say. The penalty call, the penalty shout in this stadium. It was a lovely move. Nice reverse pass from Fernandes into Casemiro. I think, again, it was Junior Højlund. It was just behind Casemiro. And I think if this is given, look, there isn't any contact. There's contact with Casemiro's left ankle before Højlund gets anything on the ball. Now, if it's given, it will be a very soft penalty in my eyes. Well, in real play for me, I don't think it was a penalty.
Well, at this moment in time, they're getting some treatment from Giardon. Bruno Fernandes is trying to explain his case to our referee, Darren England, right now. And I think he's probably also trying to explain why the offside was given. Weghorst is kind of asking why the assistant on this side didn't put his flag up if he was offside. A lengthy discussion. And Giardon's going to have to leave the field of play, having received some treatment. A crucial moment here as well, 5 minutes before half-time for Paul Ince just to get into the majority of his team at the edge of the technical area and just making sure they keep it tight to half-time.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Why not give information if you're given a break in play? Gets the opportunity to get all of his players across, just to pass on some knowledge to his players to say, look, when we get the ball, let's be a little bit more clever with it. We've got to try and get Tom Ince breaking down that right-hand side, or Andy Carroll holding the ball up, or Lucas João. The big physical guys, they've got to try and help out their midfield players and defenders just to give them that breather.
Reading have possession midway inside their own half. It's Carroll trying to pop it forward to Lucas João, who's done very little in this opening 41 minutes for Reading so far. Anthony down this right-hand side. He's closed down again by Ram, and he does well because he's got Ince there too, who just nicks the ball away. But I mean, you can't question the desire and the work rate of Anthony. I mean, some will argue he's maybe a little one-dimensional, always cutting in on that left
running
foot.
Into bodies, Adam, that's what it is, instead of going on the outside and making the pitch bigger, because he's got the ability to do it.
As Carroll picks it up from Hendrick, the two long-haired players in this Reading side, and with his ponytail bobbing, Carroll goes on a run and slips it down the right-hand side for Junior Hoylett to chase after. But Bruno Fernandes is back doing the defending, and I mean, that's one of the things I notice about Manchester United is they are all working so hard.
Yeah.
Fernandes is up and down defensively time after time.
Well, their work ethic, it's there, it springs out straight in front of your eyes from what Manchester United were last season. And if you don't do it, I think I mentioned this before, Adam, if you're not doing it, then you don't play. Bruno Fernandes has to be a part of that. You see everybody working for each other. I said the camaraderie is a lot better than what it has been for many, many years.
There's Weghorst out to Fernandes again, 25 yards from goal. Clips the ball in. Eriksson looks like he's way offside, and he is. The flag does come up this time. There's the ironic cheers. We've got 2 minutes to go to half-time here on Talksport. It's Manchester United 0, Reading 0.
And I have to say, I think, as the game stands now at 0-0, Paul Ince and Alex Ray are walking down this tunnel at half-time. They are thrilled to pieces. Yeah, they've not really done anything in the final third, albeit they had that free kick very early on in the game, but you come from the Championship to Old Trafford, the way that Manchester United have been playing of late, they will be thrilled to pieces.
Reading have failed to progress beyond round 4 in 5 of the last 6 years. They did reach round 5 in 2020 when they lost to Sheffield United, but obviously this is familiar territory for Manchester United, apart from last season, of course, when Middlesbrough beat them in round 4. Here's Fernandes, tries to put a low ball across the 6-yard box, but it's well blocked out and defended on this near side by Baba Rahman. And there'll be 2 minutes added, we think, at the end of this half. We've had almost 44, so a minute of normal time to play. And Manchester United have their first corner on the right-hand side for Christian Eriksen to deliver. Weghorst an obvious target, as is Harry Maguire and Lindelof as well. And also inside that penalty area, Casemiro's not far away too, and it's to the edge of the 6-yard box. It comes out on that left-hand side to Anthony. On his right foot this time, he tries to curl one into the top corner. And like all the efforts with his left foot, it's just wide.
Yeah, I think it was more of a surprise to everybody to see Anthony having that strike with his right foot and finding the position he found himself in. But it came from, again, Reading not clearing their lines. Initially, when that ball just came into the area, he just tried to wrap his right foot. Look, it looked a little bit tighter from where we are actually, Adam, but now we've seen a replay. Yeah. It's probably about a goal away from actually going in. I think you understand where I'm coming from.
That's why he cuts in on his left foot all the time, I think. I think we just may have seen the evidence why. Yeah. The right is good for standing on, though. We all need it for that purpose. 10 seconds remaining of normal time, plus 2 to be added at the end of this first half here on Talksport, where it remains goalless between Manchester United and Reading. On this left-hand side, ball swung over. Oh, and it almost reached Andy Carroll inside the penalty area. Chance for a goal. Oh, what a save that is from David De Gea, who's denied Tom Ince inside the penalty area. Well, the final shot may have come in from Junior Hoylett, and it's David De Gea with a save. And the first chance Reading have had, and De Gea is called into action.
Well, I speak about this so many times when a lower league side comes to a Premier League side waiting for that one opportunity. It's a great move down the left-hand side, super ball into there. I actually expected more from Andy Carroll. Yes, he's in between two centre-halves and it's very, very tight, but he could have done more. But what an opportunity for Junior Hoylett. Wow.
We've had almost a minute of the 2 that have been added. Anthony on the charge again, but there's a renewed vigour about Reading now after that opportunity. Yiadom out wide to the right-hand side. Junior Hoylett had his head in his hands, frustrated. He didn't do better with that effort. And now down the right-hand side they come again with Yiadom, low ball across. Again trying to find the run, that time by Lucas João at the near post, but couldn't quite find him. And Manchester United will get it clear down that left-hand side. And now maybe a chance to counter here with Fernandes, and all of a sudden there's 5 of them in this Manchester United attack. Wan-Bissaka has got Anthony to the right, edge of the penalty area. Anthony slips it on, Wan-Bissaka pulls it across the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's headed away that time by Holmes. and it'll come down to Anthony on this right-hand side. 30 seconds of time added on at the end of the first half. Can Reading cling on and get to that half-time whistle with the score still goalless? Wan-Bissaka, Fernandez, Casemiro, cross the goal. Weghorst with a shot, and it was a snapshot with an outstretched left boot, which Lumley saves low to his right.
I mean, it's counter-attacking football at its best from Manchester United. Works initially from the left-hand side. Good play from Malaysia. Finding Bruno Fernandes, switching the ball over to this right-hand side, just playing through those lines with the ball, using the pace of the ball. But when they get that ball into the area, I mean, Weghorst, he's just stretching out that left foot, and you can't really get enough pace on it. Looks like it's going to miss the target. Takes a slight little deflection. Well, that's it, half-time. Yeah,
big cheers as well from the travelling support away to our right-hand side here at Old Trafford, because Reading, from the Championship, have got themselves goalless at half-time against Manchester United. We thought we had the goal, and we thought we had a monumental, historic goal for Marcus Rashford, scoring in his 10th consecutive home game, breaking a 69-year-old record here at Old Trafford. However, it didn't count due to VAR. Big celebrations, all scrubbed off though. Half-time at Old Trafford, it remains Manchester United 0, Reading 0.
Thank you very much, Adam. That last 10 minutes of that half, it all sprung to life, didn't it, following that disallowed goal from Marcus Rashford. Weghorst marginally offside. You can't disagree with it, Mickey. However, no one seemed to see it in real time, and you know, ultimately disappointing for United.
Well, no, absolutely, Faye. I think, you know, we all want to see Marcus break that record. I mean, it's an incredible record that stood for a long, long time. But this is why VAR is here. Look, Reading are not used to having it on a weekly basis, but they've been given the good fortune of having it tonight at Old Trafford. Now, when that ball went in the back of the net, you're right, we didn't see it because Weghorst wasn't involved in the build-up until he headed that ball back across the 6-yard area and Marcus nodded the ball into the back of the net. But he was offside, it was the right call, and you have to say that Erik ten Hag's probably walking down that tunnel along with the Manchester United players, a little bit frustrated that they've not been able to break the deadlock against Reading tonight.
Yeah, 80% possession, the stats say. They're dominating, but goals count, not possession stats, and, you know, they need to make it count because Reading almost nicked a goal after some really poor United defending. Was it Malaysia who chested it down, bit heavy, didn't see his man on?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're talking in commentary in that first half about just waiting and waiting for that opportunity, and it came. Super ball into the area. I just think Andy Carroll could have done a little bit more. Yes, he was in between the two centre halves. It was hard for him to get that leap, but that's what he's been known for throughout the years, of being brave and aggressive when he's in that 6-yard area. But I mean, Junior Hoilett, wow, you wait for a chance at Old Trafford, and that was it, wasn't it? Just before half-time. I mean, now that would have been an upset going down the tunnel at half-time, but it's what they've got to wait for in the second half, if they're going to win this tie.
Yeah, you absolutely have to take those kind of chances, particularly because Wout Weghorst himself had one on the counter-attack just before that. Do maybe Manchester United need to use his height a little bit more? I mean, I know he's up against, you know, one of the tallest goalkeepers you've seen in Joe Lumley, but at the same time he needs to maybe take advantage of that, and the balls into the box need to be targeting Wout Weghorst.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of balls that have actually been fired into the area, Faye, that have been a little bit behind Weghorst, but the one just before half-time there, what he was stretching for with his left foot, I mean, he couldn't really get the purchase on it, couldn't really get enough pace on it, took a slight little deflection which took it into Joe Lumley's arms. But I like Weghorst. Look, sometimes the cameras don't pick up his movement. He looks to try and get involved in the game a little bit more than maybe people expect. His hold-up play is very good. He's brought something different to Manchester United. Look, we're all not going to sit here and think he's going to get 15 goals come the end of the season. I don't think he's that type of player. But he gives a different dimension. He's got that physicality, the hold-up play, bringing in the forward players alongside him, Anthony and Marcus Rashford, and I think he's done okay so far in the game. In fact, he's done okay since he walked through the door at Manchester United.
I think he's a menace. I watched him come on in the semi-final at the World Cup between Argentina and the Netherlands, and you know, turn the game on its head when he came.
He got a couple of goals that day as well, didn't he?
He did, and he's a very easy target in terms of, you know, slightly clumsy and awkward looking, but you know, he's not a Premier League footballer playing at Old Trafford for no reason, and an international footballer taking to the stage on the world's biggest stage.
Absolutely.
So anyway, right, listen, earlier on FA Cup Game Day Live, Tottenham joined Leicester, Leeds, Southampton and Bristol City to progress to the 5th round of the FA Cup. We brought you some audio as well from Birmingham boss John Eustace, who told our reporter Matt Jones that his goalkeeper Neil Etheridge was shaken up by an alleged incident of racial abuse. We've had a statement from the FA. We're aware of an alleged incident of racial abuse that was reported to the match official during the Emirates FA Cup match between Blackburn Rovers and Birmingham City. We take all allegations of discrimination extremely seriously, and we will be investigating as a matter of urgency, working with the clubs and all the relevant authorities. We will, of course, keep you updated on that investigation on Talksport. Now, our final match of the day, goalless at the break. Second half commentary of Manchester United Reading coming next.
FA Cup Live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Giving the lounge that lick of paint. Once this week's out the way, putting off that first run until the rain stopped. We've all been there, waiting until everything's just right to make a move. But if you speak to NatWest, we could help you get your 2023 plans into action. Don't worry about the run. You've got goals to chase. Kickstart your year with NatWest. NatWest. Tomorrow begins today.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of high inflation and taxes. It was the season of stocks and shares ISAs.
Don't let your savings get eaten away this ISA season. Open a tax-free investment ISA today and help beat inflation with free investment coaching and low share trading fees at bestinvest.co.uk. You work hard for your money. Best invested. Your capital is at risk. Tax rules apply and may change.
Hi there. What's the purpose of your visit? Business or leisure?
Well, it's January back at home, and it's also January in Dubai.
With 3 nights holiday in Dubai from £469 per person, you'll find any excuse to travel. The British Airways original sale is ending soon. Book your excuse at ba.com/sale. Sale ends 31st of January. Price based on 2 sharing. Limited availability. Terms and conditions apply at all protected.
£1 million. Is this a wind-up? It has to be a wind-up. Apart from the birth of my children, this is the best phone call I've ever received in my life.
This is what it sounds like when people win big with the National Lottery. Will you be next? The National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Europe Express on Talksport. He's a pundit and he's on Talksport.
Ich heiße Danny Kelly mit your match report.
On Trans-Europe Express he's got all the scores. With continental football games, big guests and more. La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A. Also, Herr Kelly will make sure you're always in the know. He doesn't like to mention back in '83 that he was the editor of the enemy. Yeah.
Trans-Europe Express is back. Talksport's continental collective of breaking news and insider reviews from Europe's major leagues is here.
Trans-Europe Express.
With Monsieur Danny Kelly. Tomorrow night from 9 on Talksport.
Also available on music cassette.
The biggest and best football on the radio.
On the app, on DAB, on 1089 and 1053 medium wave, and on your smart speaker.
FA Cup Game Day Live
on Talksport.
This is FA Cup Game Day Live on Talksport. I'm Faye Carruthers. Second half action from Manchester United against Reading coming up shortly. It's goalless at the break. After us, though, a massive fight night live for you with Adam Cattrall and Gareth A. Davis live from Wembley as Anthony Yard takes on Artur Beterbiev. The undercard currently live over on Talksport 2 if you want to dip in and have a listen. Certainly the main event after us should be a cracker. Very much looking forward to that.
Anthony Yard challenges Artur Beterbiev for the unified light heavyweight world titles.
We all know Beterbiev and the capabilities that he has.
This guy can punch with both hands.
Beterbiev is a tough man to contend with.
Bruising is a great descriptive for Beterbiev.
A knockout win and the light heavyweight championship to Artur Beterbiev.
But I think this is Anthony's time.
Ladies in the
When I'm shouting Lions in the camp, it's not no gimmick.
Anthony Yard was ferocious. Anthony Yard has another stoppage victory.
Lions have no choice but to go and hunt.
I don't want to talk a lot. I want to do something.
I came from nothing, so if I get given an opportunity, I'm taking it.
Which fighter will take that opportunity tonight? You will hear it live on Talksport. Build up from 10 o'clock after this match at Old Trafford. This is FA Cup Game Day live on Talksport. Second half action from our fifth and final FA Cup commentary of the day up next. Has been a massive weekend of fourth round football. Here's the story so far on Talksport.
You're listening to the FA Cup weekend on Talksport.
Back for Grealish. Grealish inside the penalty area. Twisting, doesn't put a right-footed cross in. Tries to get it on his left. Plays it back for Ake! 1-0 to Manchester City.
7 goals in 7 FA Cup ties for the man who cannot stop scoring in this competition. And just like he did at Gillingham, Kelechi Iheanacho gives Leicester a second half lead.
Route of our post, it's played square and knocked into the net. It is a third for Leeds United. 2 goals in double quick time, and they've surely wrapped up the match now.
Hampton 2, Blackpool 0, 61 on the clock, and it's Roman Perro again at the double. Would you believe it?
It's Luton 2, Grimsby 1, but there is an opportunity at the other end, and Grimsby have come straight back into it. Harry Clifton, the goal scorer.
FA Cup goals as they go in right here on Game Day Live.
Kearney shifts the ball one way and then the other. Dancing run! That is a brilliant solo goal! Tom Kearney gets Fulham back on level terms.
This is a proper cup tie. This is a proper cup tie.
Bristol City 3, West Brom 0, and Sam Bell again has scored on the score sheet, his second of the afternoon.
Danjuma scores on his debut. And Spurs are in round 5. It finishes Preston 0, Tottenham 3.
So our fourth commentary of the day on the Talksport network saw Spurs eventually see off a resolute Preston at Deepdale. 2 goals from Heung-min Son and 1 from new signing Arnaut Danjuma. After the game, Tottenham assistant manager Christian Stellini said the side was still very much in control of the match.
It was a great start, and that created a comfortable second half, because we start with a great pace. We move the ball very well from the back, and we allowed them only to run to find the ball, but was difficult to try to score in the first half. It's normal, but in the second everything was comfortable, because they dropped the intensity, and we find a good night for Sonny, and we are happy for that. And he has only to wait the moment to find the target.
Let's hear from the Preston manager Ryan Lowe. He says his side competed against one of the best teams in the Premier League.
Well, we changed a little bit today. Went with a flat 3 in midfield, because obviously respecting that they like to come inside the pitch like Son did and Kulusevski and the players on the pitch. So we were aware of that, and we felt we contained that to half time, and if we'd have got to 60-70 minutes then maybe. We changed obviously when they scored to try and get us back in the game and sort of play the way we want to play, in terms of with 2-8 on the front foot and driving and sliding wing backs and whatnot. But look, you're coming up against top opposition in Tottenham Hotspur. They've got fantastic players, and that's always going to be tough. But we tried, we had a good goal. The place was bouncing. FA Cup 4th round. Look, pleased with the group, but now we have to get back to our championship form.
In case you missed it earlier, Talksport sources understand Jody Morris is due to be appointed as the new manager of League 2 side Swindon Town. The club have been without a head coach since the 11th of January after Scott Lindsay left the club. You're listening to FA Cup Game Day live on Talksport. All square at Old Trafford at the break. Let's have a listen to the halftime highlights with Carling.
FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup.
But this is the theatre of dreams, and can Reading deliver the most unimaginable cup upset, or will the unstoppable United home bandwagon keep on rolling straight into round 5? This is Rashford, He's going to go direct with this one, which he does. It's beaten away. Eriksson with the follow-up is well blocked inside the 6-yard area. Terrific strike from Rashford on target, but Lumley was equal to it. Anthony at the edge of the penalty. On his left foot, bends one, and it was curling all the time, but just wide of the right-hand post. Anthony again cutting in on that left foot of his. What's he got this time? He's got Fernandes in, and Fernandes drags his shot wide from about 10 yards out.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant wing play again from Anthony.
Rashford's there, has it crossed the line, the header's gone in, and it's a goal! Marcus Rashford has scored! Of course, was offside. It took a deflection off a Reading player, so actually it's not as simple as just being offside. This will be a decision for the well, it has been given as offside, Mickey.
Wow.
On this left-hand side, ball swung over. Oh, and it almost reached Andy Carroll inside the penalty area. Chance for a goal. Oh, what a save that is from David De Gea.
That was all thanks to Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup.
Don't forget, tomorrow, 2 more live FA Cup commentaries for you as Brighton host Liverpool in an all-Premier League clash at 1:30. Then at 4:30, it's National League giant killers Wrexham against Championship side Sheffield United. Adrian Durham's going to be your guide from 1 o'clock. The FA Cup 4th round concludes as well on Monday night with Derby County against West Ham, which is also live on TalkSport from 7. Over on TalkSport 2 from 7:30 a.m. tomorrow if you're up bright and early. Live commentary of the second ODI between South Africa and England. Ball-by-ball commentary from our top team, led by our cricket editor John Norman and England legends Darren Gough, Mark Butcher and Steve Harmison. Right now, though, let's get back over to Old Trafford. The players just making their way out onto the pitch for the second half. Former Sunderland defender Mickey Gray is alongside your match commentator Adam Bridge.
Yeah, thank you very much, Faye. We so far have Manchester United. We are awaiting the arrival of Paul Ince's Reading side, who have done themselves proud in the opening 45 minutes here at Old Trafford. That disallowed goal for Marcus Rashford and some good saves from Lumley, but plenty of efforts off target for Manchester United in the opening 45 minutes. And then David De Gea with a crucial save at the end of the first half, which really would have put the Cats amongst the pigeons for sure. Looks like both teams are as they were at the start of the game. We're just waiting for the referee down England, who's appeared as well. So De Gea is in goal for United. It's Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Malacia. It's Casemiro and Eriksson in midfield. Anthony, Fernandes and Rashford providing the support to Weghorst. As for Reading, Lumley's in goal. Yeardom, Holmes and McIntyre the back three. Hoylett and Rahman the two wing backs, with Hendrick, Loom and Ince in midfield, and Zhao and Carroll up top for Reading. Everyone's present and correct. There's a few more stragglers, Paul Ince being the last of them, I think, to make his way up the touchline down below us. Of course, the tunnel here in the corner by the Stretford end, but we are off and running at the start of the second half. It's the Stretford end that Manchester United are attacking in this second 45 minutes, and immediately Reading put the ball into touch on this near side, and Manchester United have a throw. We talked about what Paul Ince would have to say at half-time. What do we think Erik ten Hag may have to say to his charges?
Patience. I think they're going to have to show a lot of patience, Manchester United, and basically wear Reading down as much as they possibly can. I think they know that there's going to be opportunities for them there in this second 45 minutes, but they have to be really cautious of that counter-attack from Reading.
Here's Rashford trying to get through again as another clipped ball forward from United is gathered comfortably by Lumley at the edge of his penalty area. It's been a tactic they've used quite a few times. Some decent runs been made as well by Marcus Rashford coming in from this left-hand side, and here Maguire looking to link up time and time again, but so far to no avail for Manchester United. And we've had a couple of minutes should I say, of this second half, and it remains goalless here at Old Trafford as slowly but surely everyone filters back to their seats around us. The eruption of noise when I felt Marcus Rashford had scored that 10th consecutive goal at home was quite something, only for it to be denied by VAR. That the real talking moment of the first half. Clearly Weghorst was offside, but it was from the initial pass, and then after it touched a Reading player. But it wasn't down to Darren England to make that call. It was made by our VAR, who is Lee Mason today. former Premier League referee, of course. Here's Eriksson finding Rashford on halfway. Rashford load through the middle towards the edge of the penalty area. Wan-Bissaka had made a run, but it was read and controlled by Holmes that time. Yeardom's got himself into trouble here. Wan-Bissaka's dispossessed him. Here's Fernandes, 20 yards from goal, and it's high and wide into the Stretford end.
Such a shame as well. I mean, it's been a pretty slow start to the second half, I have to say, but Reading just running into avenues where they can't get themselves out. Wan-Bissaka this time winning the ball, just laying it off to Bruno Fernandes. I know he's got better quality than that. I've seen the goals since he walked through the door at Manchester United. Just keep it low and use that power that he's got in that right foot. Just gets that one completely wrong.
Lumley with a clearance looking for Carroll, who wins the header. Headed away that time though by Malacia on this near side, and trying to pick it up is Eriksson. Good work by, down this left-hand touchline, Junior Hoylett. And they've won the ball back, Reading on halfway. Carroll just turns and looks for some support, and he's able to hold off all challenges except for Wout Weghorst, who of course similar in size and stature, and he brings him down, and the free kick has gone the way of the visitors.
Yeah, just needs to get going a little bit, doesn't it, Adam, in this second half from both sides. It's been a little bit scrappy, as if the players have been sat down at half-time. They come out and they've felt the cold as they've walked down that tunnel. The passing's not really been crisp. Harry Maguire's tried to play a long through ball to Rashford, didn't come off for him. Rashford tried one himself, skimmed along the ground, and it's kind of stop-start. Too many fouls, but I think it'll obviously help Reading. The more time they can see out, the better it's going to be for themselves, and give themselves a chance to get the ball in Manchester United's half when they get the opportunity. But you expect more from Man United, certainly after that team talk from Ten Hag.
There's a problem here for Junior Hoylett, who is receiving some attention just down in front of the dugouts, actually, just inside his own half. It certainly looks like a facial problem, and a couple of physios now dealing with it, so I'm going to assume there may be some blood involved there for Junior Hoylett right now. It gives me a chance to remind you of what's up and coming tomorrow across the Talksport network. Brighton against Liverpool is our first live FA Cup game of the day. We're underway at 1 o'clock. Adrian Durham will guide you through the afternoon, and then Wrexham, the Giant Killers, of course, beat Coventry in round 3 from the National League. They'll play Sheffield United, high-flying in the Championship. That's underway at 4:30 in the afternoon. And then on Monday night, Derby against West Ham, and the draw for round 5 is live on Talksport. Once we are done here tonight, it's Fight Night Live. Adam Catterall and Gareth A. Davis, they're over on Talksport 2 right now, but they'll switch over to Talksport from 10 as Anthony Yarde takes on Artur Beterbiev in the big fight from Wembley, and we'll be there at Wembley from 10 o'clock this evening. And then finally tomorrow morning on Talksport 2, South Africa against England. We've got live one-day international cricket for you from 7:30. Darren Gough, Mark Butcher and Steve Harmison amongst the team as South Africa take on England. Do we know what's wrong with Junior Hoylett yet, Mickey?
Well, I have to say, I mean, the injury is worse than I thought it was. I mean, there was a coming together. I'm not quite sure who the Manchester United player was. Maybe Weghorst when he came over to try and keep the ball in play. But Junior Hoylett's gone down. He's gone down for a reason. His nose is all busted up. There was blood coming down. I don't think it's quite gone onto his shirt, so he won't have to change that. But there was a reason why he went down, and we're going to get quite a bit of added on time at the end of this FA Cup tie.
Well, he's got cotton wool up both nostrils right now, it would appear, so plenty of blood involved as Tom Ince eventually takes this free kick for Reading. Carroll gets the flick on inside the penalty area. Hendrick knocks it down, and it almost broke to Zhao, and there's Carroll tries a blockbuster from 25 yards that's blocked inside the Manchester United penalty area. Here is Hoylett, lovely floated ball across. Lindelof's there to clear, and Eriksson will hack it away from the edge of the penalty area. Under pressure from Anthony, it will go all the way back to Lumley, and Lumley will clear towards the centre circle, picked up this time by Eriksson, and Eriksson will come back towards Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes chips it down this left-hand side. Hoylett's there with this just blob of cotton wool hanging out of both of his nostrils on this near touchline. I'm not too sure as a player how you breathe when you're trying to run when you've got that shoved up your nose, but out of play for a throw down this near side, which Reading will take that right.
I can tell you, Adam, very, very difficult. It's very, very hard. But I mean, just showed some great skill. Bruno Fernandes went to try and press him and close him down. Just dragged it with his right foot onto his left foot. Eventually won his side, a throw in. But they've got their tails up a little bit. Andy Carroll's just had a super strike from 25 yards out. Got blocked on its way through. But that's what they're waiting for, Reading. Their opportunities may come in this second 45.
Well, you never know. It is the FA Cup after all. The magic does happen, and we've kind of been lacking a bit of the drama that we had of round 3 so far today. No real shock so far. We thought maybe Leeds live on Talksport 2 earlier today at Accrington Stanley, but they managed a 3-1 victory, and Leicester just about found their way past Walsall at the best got at lunchtime as well here on Talksport by 1-0. And then, as you heard prior to the game kicking off here at Manchester United tonight, Preston being beaten by Spurs by 3-0. Who knows what tomorrow and Monday will hold as we conclude round 4 of the FA Cup on Talksport.
Well, Adam, I have to say, I'm looking at Erik ten Hag, and he is not happy at all the way that Manchester United have started this second 45 minutes.
Wan-Bissaka forward over halfway down that right-hand side. Anthony's got on the run, but the ball just clipped his heel and bobbled up in the air. Wan-Bissaka gets it back. Finds Casemiro. Casemiro inside the penalty area, looking to try and find Fernandes with that curled ball, but it's going to be cleared from the edge of the penalty area by Louvre, and then Yiadom will lift it forward up towards halfway. Lucas Schau's there, he's got Ince for support. Maguire doing the holding according to the supporters away to our right hand side, but Eriksson, it's a real untidy passage of play around halfway. There are tackles flying in everywhere, and then in the end Andy Carroll with a fairly savage one on Christian Eriksen that may well produce the first yellow card of this game.
Well, if he gets away with this, Andy Carroll, he's a fortunate boy. He's kind of scissored Christian Eriksen because he's lost the ball. It's a yellow card all day long. He's a very lucky man to get away with that one, I have to say. But the battles in the second half with João, Harry Maguire, Manchester United are coming out second best. This time Andy Carroll, a little bit of frustration because it looked like Manchester United were going to get the ball back themselves. But I don't merit giving players yellow cards, but that has to be one. It really does. It's a terrible challenge from Carroll.
How on earth he's not been booked there, I do not know. However, the free kick has been taken quickly by Manchester United. We are almost 9 minutes into the second half, but a fairly lengthy hold up in play for that injury to Junior Hoylett. United on the attack, slipped inside the box. Casemiro! Oh, it's a brilliant finish from Casemiro. The build-up play with Anthony was superb, and the deadlock has been broken. And it's Casemiro with a scoop finished over Lumley to around about 12 yards out. It's delightful play from Manchester United and a lovely finish from Casemiro. It's Manchester United 1, Reading 0.
Oh, what a player, what a finish, and what a brilliant move from Manchester United. I said in the second half they've not really got going, but that switch ball over to the right hand side to Anthony, he does what he does, he comes in on his left foot and he just sees the run, which is a perfect run this time from Casemiro, and he's not been picked up. He's left to run into the 18-yard area, and what a little deft little dink that is. It's absolutely brilliant from the ex-Real Madrid player. Super player, super finish, and that's what Manchester United have been hoping for, to get themselves in front in this tie, and they've done that right now. Super goal.
It really is a good finish as well, isn't it, Mickey? Because Lumley's coming and he literally is about to get challenged, so he just scoops it over the top of the keeper. I think Christian Eriksen hit a lovely pass across, but it looks like he's picked up an injury. Ten Hag not happy as well on the touchline about that challenge from Andy Carroll, by the way, on Christian Eriksen, which I think may lead to Eriksen going off here. He's in quite a bit of discomfort, but Manchester United have the advantage. Casemiro the goal scorer, and what can Reading offer now? United have that breakthrough. Question is, will it become more comfortable for them now they have that goal cushion? We've had 10 minutes of the second half. Manchester United 1, Reading 0. Casemiro the goal scorer, maybe the most unlikeliest of them all. However, he's broken the deadlock here at Old Trafford, and he's in possession again now, just inside his own half. Back to Lindelof. Runs being made on that far side by Anthony. Combination of the two Brazilians unlocking that Reading defence. Here he is again, infield towards Weghorst. It's Malacia. Good work by Rashford to block that out. And it's out of play on this near side for a throw into Reading.
Well, that is the process for Manchester United now. They've got themselves in front in the tie. Can they see it out as quick as they possibly can? Can they get that second goal? And then it gives Erik ten Hag the opportunity to maybe rotate a few of his players that are on the substitutes bench. But what we're seeing right in front of us now is Eriksen going off the pitch for Fred. And the reason that being, Adam, is because of that challenge from Andy Carroll, where he did not pick up that yellow card, and it's the last thing that Man United need. I knew it was a bad challenge. Eriksen's done well to get himself back on his feet. He's only lasted about another minute after the challenge, but he had to be disciplined for that. There's no doubt about it. It was a shocking challenge.
Yep, awful. Fred is on. He made his FA Cup debut against Reading back in 2019, did Fred. And now we'll get a chance in place of Christian Eriksen for the final 35 minutes or so of this game. Here's the free kick for Manchester United. And it's about 15 yards outside the penalty area. A couple of yards wide of the left-hand edge as they attack from right to left in this second half towards the Stretford end here at Old Trafford. And it's going to be Bruno Fernandes who is over the top of this free kick for Manchester United. Weghorst, of course, has got both his arms up towards that back post. He's coming in, so is Maguire, but Carroll's there to head it away. Here is Anthony, left-footed ball out wide to this near side. It's a clever ball as well, because Fernandes was in plenty of space down this left-hand touchline for Manchester United. Across field he goes towards the edge of the penalty area. Fred's there, Casemiro hits the shot! Oh, it's in! And Casemiro has his second of the night, and what a strike that is from the Brazilian into the bottom corner. That's absolutely wonderful from Casemiro. He's on a double, and Manchester United have doubled their advantage. It's Manchester United 2, Reading 0.
Well, you talk about patience and not rushing that ball into the area, and that's what Manchester United have just done. They keep the ball on the left-hand side after the initial free kick. Bruno Fernandes plays a square ball to Fred, first time into Casemiro's path. Look, it takes a little deflection on its way past Joe Lumley, into that Reading goal. One of the centre-halves gets a little bit of a connection on it, just takes it away from the goalkeeper. But if you don't shoot, you don't get those chances and you don't get that look. And that's exactly what Casemiro's done. It's a great strike. Take nothing away from Casemiro. And a brilliant finish. And that's exactly what Manchester United ordered in the second half.
Yeah, a little flick off the head of Tom Holmes. But maybe he's just given it that extra half a yard as De Gea has to come out here under pressure from Lucas João and almost karate kick that ball into the stand just down below us to clear the danger, as Reading look now to kind of move things around. They're just talking to the substitutes because 2 down, actions required. It did take a deflection, but it was a powerful old strike from Casemiro, wasn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, it said he's a Rolls Royce in that position. Maybe surprised a lot of people when he actually walked through the door. There's another bad challenge. He's got to be careful, Adam. It's Andy Carroll again.
Well, the card's coming out this time, and you can hear the cheers around us. It's no surprise because he's just bundled into Malacia on this near side, and well, that card should have come about 10 minutes ago. Christian Eriksen's gone straight down the tunnel for treatment, so that's a worry for Manchester United.
Yes, it is, and we really hope that Christian Eriksen gets himself back fit as quick as he possibly can, but this has been coming. He should have been in the book already, Andy Carroll. That should have been a second yellow card. He shouldn't actually be on the field now. He's just lost his head over the last couple of minutes. This one was on Malaysia. Obviously not as aggressive as the first challenge, but it doesn't matter. He's got to start to keep his cool, and I'm sure that Paul Ince is having a little look at that now and thinking, no, we're 2-0 down. The last thing we need to do in the second half at Old Trafford against Manchester United is go down to 10 men.
Tyrese Fornah is about to enter the fray. And just having a look, it looks like it'll be Loom will be going off, but in the meantime United on the attack here with Fred across the edge of the 6-yard box. Lovely ball threaded across, just nobody taking a chance on getting on the end of that for Manchester United. It goes out on the far side, I would say harmlessly, but Anthony's got the ball at feet and he's doing one of his little dances as he tries to get the better on that far side. I think of the defender, but he didn't quite make it, and the left-footed strike from Malacia at the edge of the penalty area is well over the top of the crossbar.
Well, I talked about wearing teams down, and that's exactly what Manchester United have done, and they've had those 2 sucker punches from Casemiro to get themselves in a commanding lead in this FA Cup tie. And I just looked down at the technical area, seeing Paul Ince having a word with Alex Ray just to make those changes. It's not the one I expected. I really did think Andy Carroll needed to come off the field. He just needs to calm himself down a bit, but he's going to make those changes now, give players on the bench an opportunity with maybe their first chance of playing against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Brilliant for them.
Here's the question though, Mickey. So you're 2-0 up, game's looking quite comfortable. Do you take Rashford off, or do you allow in the whole 90 minutes to try and get that 10th consecutive goal?
I think it would be cruel, wouldn't it? It definitely would be cruel. Against Nottingham Forest, was it 57 minutes? I think he played maybe just a little bit more than that. He got himself on the score sheet there. I mean, Erik ten Hag will be hoping that Marcus can get that 10th and all-important goal for himself to break that record, that long-standing record. But he has to think about the team. You have to say, they've got, 9 games in 30 days, Manchester United, and they need a Marcus Rashford firing the way he is every single time he plays.
Again, Anthony's away down that right-hand side for Manchester United. They lead here by 2-0 on Talksport. Casemiro hunting a hat-trick inside the penalty area. It's Fred, though, to Fernandes. Back to Fred. Now Andy Carroll with a chance to try and break away. Good challenge from Harry Maguire, asserting his authority. João goes down, though, under the challenge of Casemiro. And that will be a free kick. 4 goals for the season now for Casemiro. And the second of which, with a slight deflection, but I don't think that'll be taken away from him because it was certainly on target, that's for sure. Just helped to beat Lumley in the corner. The first, though, an exquisite footballing goal from Manchester United, who lead by 2-0 here, and we've had almost 63 minutes at Old Trafford. Erik ten Hag deep in conversation in the back room, sat in the Manchester United dugout, probably about just managing the time of these players, with this worry over Christian Eriksen having gone off injured. The question will be, I guess, how long you leave Casemiro out there as well. He's got a strong bench, as we know. Plenty of options available to him, but not really in that Casemiro role. That's just where Fred is sat right now. Here's United again with Maguire. Lovely ball through, first time here towards Rashford, who again was just ghosting in from this left-hand side in a decent position, but not enough on the pass. Yiadom, as he has a few times tonight, able to cut it out and win the header. But Rashford will be, and I know it's a team game, and I know progressing to the 5th round is the most important thing for Manchester United, but that personal milestone, you don't get a chance to break records like that too often.
No, absolutely not. There's certain players on 8. I think Wayne Rooney is one of those players. Wasn't able to get to double figures in a row at Old Trafford. I mean, some of the players on there are absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, it's stood for over 60 years. Absolutely incredible. You just don't hope that Marcus doesn't try a little bit too hard, because that's when you start to lose your edge a little bit when you get around that 18-yard box, because you just snap at shots a little bit too much. But he will get a chance.
Fernandes on the far side robs that one back for Manchester United into Casemiro. Oh, that's it. Andy Carroll's going here. The referee may not have seen it, but he's clattered into Casemiro with a late challenge. Here's the second yellow card. Well, the second yellow card could have come 10 or 15 minutes ago, but now it's finally a red. And as you can hear from the cheers and the waves all around us, utter stupidity from Andy Carroll, and a well-deserved red card.
Well, we talked about it. The first challenge he got away with Christian Eriksen. His second one with a yellow card from Malaysia. And this one, I mean, he's got no right to actually go to ground. The ball is gone. Casemiro just gets rid of it. I mean, you're talking 2 seconds after the ball is gone. And he knows exactly what he's done, Andy Carroll. And I mean, maybe I look at maybe a little bit of naivety. And I'm not criticising Paul Ince at all here. But he should have made that substitution at him. He should have had Andy Carroll off the bit. You could see it coming from a mile off. 3 stupid challenges, walking down the tunnel at Manchester United, 2-0 down to 10 men. It's just ridiculous. Absolute stupidity from Andy Carroll.
Well, it's like you said, Mickey, the second challenge should have been the second yellow anyway, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
So he should never have been on the field for that one. Here's Rashford inside the box. Lovely bit of skill on his right foot across the 6-yard box. Cleared away only as far as Fred. Casemiro shovels it out wide to that left-hand side. Anthony on his left foot tries the first-time shot. Maguire's going to get there ahead of João, wins the challenge. Fernandes into Wan-Bissaka inside the box. Wan-Bissaka tries to get the shot away, and it's out of play for a corner on the far side.
Well, Reading have got 25 minutes now where they're just going to hang on to this 2-goal deficit. It's not going to change the other way. I think we know that.
Well, we are going to see some changes for Manchester United as Fred pokes it home to make it 3. Corner taken quickly at the near post. Fred just flicks it on beyond Lumley and into the bottom corner and puts Manchester United surely into round 5 of the FA Cup. Fred joins Casemiro on the score sheet, and it's Manchester United 3, the 10 men of Reading 0.
Well, that's an assist and a goal from the substitute Fred. and it's just a brilliant finish. Short corner, Fred just gets away from his marker, and I said it was going to be a difficult 25 minutes to keep it at 2-0. Well, now it's at 3, and I think it is being looked at. I'm not quite sure if he is in an offside position here, Adam, to be completely honest with you, but we'll have to wait and find out. He looks onside to me.
He does, yeah. Fernandez is ball in after the short corner, taken very quickly. Fred, this is a decent finish at the near post,
Super
very tidy.
Finish. Absolutely super finish. I said he was involved in Casemiro's second goal with a little layoff. But this one's a great little ball along the ground from Bruno Fernandes and a super little flick from the Brazilian.
There's going to be a double change for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford is being substituted. He's going to be replaced by Garnacho. I mean, the whole of Old Trafford is on its feet. And he's walking off with his head bowed, not looking best pleased. We talked about that, the kind of balance between personal milestones, targets and record-breaking moments. He shakes the hand of his manager, but Erik ten Hag has put the team first, and Garnacho is on, and also we're going to see Bruno Fernandes depart, and we're going to see the introduction as well of Facundo Pellistri, who's making his debut in the FA Cup. So it'll be 9 goals only for Marcus Rashford, who will share the record with Dennis Viollet, and maybe we'll have to wait another 64 years before someone tries to break it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody in this stadium with a Manchester United shirt on actually feels to Marcus Rashford, but you have to say Erik ten Hag, he's given him 68 minutes to try and get that goal. Look, he had the ball in the back of the net, we were building him up and I thought that was it, that was the moment. Unfortunately for him, VAR intervened and it wasn't to be. Well, that's not to say that Marcus Rashford hasn't played his part. Since they've come back from the World Cup, he's been absolutely outstanding, he really has. I said, one of the best players in Europe right now. But Erik ten Hag, I think it's very clever. He has to think about the team first and foremost, Adam, and that's why he's had to take his star man off.
I think it's horrible. But that's just me. I'm not a former footballer, so what do I know? Change for Reading as well, and Bengu is on. He's come on to replace Junior Hoylett for the last 22 minutes or so of this game for Reading, who trail here by 3-0 on Talksport. So it looks like Manchester United are comfortably going into round 5. Garnacho's on the charge, good save, slid home inside the box, is it? Oh, it's a last-ditch block on the goal line as United go searching for 4. It's Fred who blasts it then over the top. Oh, the wonderful defending to deny Weghorst, I think, inside the 6-yard box. But I think the offside flag was up anyway.
I've got to be completely honest with you, I don't actually know how this has stayed out of the net. Brilliant play, super little ball, but you can see Garnacho's in an offside position, does ever so well to chop it onto his left foot. Great little strike, super save. I think it's Pellistri who comes in with the follow-up, and then Weghorst. They can't find the back of the net. It would have been chalked off anyway, but look, I mean, running it down to 10 men now. I don't know what Paul Ince is thinking and Alex Ray. I think they've just got to get some of their star players off and hopefully get back to winning ways in the Championship.
Well, and that's the point, isn't it? Because it's not just Andy Carroll's been sent off tonight in this FA Cup tie. Here are side 14th in the Championship, looking to try and get themselves into the playoffs with a restricted squad, unable to sign players, and now he's going to be missing and have a suspension, which does nobody any favours.
No, you're completely right. I mean, I think I was looking at the league table. I see them 10 points above the relegation zone, and that's nothing in the Championship. No. We know how quickly it changes in the space of 3 or 4 games because they come round thick and fast every midweek, every Saturday, and if you start losing games, then the sides below you start to drag you into that relegation fight, and Paul knows he doesn't need that. His squad's not strong enough.
20 minutes left here on Talksport. Manchester United 3, Reading 0. Reading down to 10 men after a ridiculous batch of yellow cards for Andy Carroll. He should have had 3 really, but only 2 from the referee. Here's Ince swinging that one towards the far post from this free kick inside the penalty area. Hendrick will pick it up, and it's delivered back that time by Loom, and out wide to that far side again. Right-footed ball swung here towards Ince, but going to be nodded on by João towards the edge of the penalty area. João's 25 yards out from goal. Gives it to Rahman down this right-hand side. He's looking to try and get towards the byline. He does have the support of Tom Ince if he needs it. He's closed down in this corner, gets towards the byline, does really well, and then it's a scything challenge coming in from Casemiro. Only he gets plenty of the ball, and it goes behind and out of play for a corner to Reading down the right-hand side.
I mean, what more can you say? And I'm sure we're going to say it over the next few seasons, how good Casemiro is at reading situations, not just his goals, Adam. He's not here to score goals, albeit he's got 2 tonight, but his all-round play is absolutely top class.
Ball swung towards the edge of the 6-yard box, header it in! And Reading have got one back in this game. The corner swung in by Tom Ince, and it's a downward head and a very good one as well. I think it's Yeard on with a header. And now Reading have pulled one back, but they're down to 10 men. But with 19 minutes remaining here, is there a lifeline? And is there a remarkable FA Cup story coming? It's Manchester United 3, Reading 1.
Wow. I mean, who expected this? Yedom just comes in, he's unmarked. It's a great ball into the area. You have to say, I think Manchester United, they've just switched off. You've got to mark your players. He comes in unmarked. It's a super header down towards David De Gea, gives him absolutely no chance. It's too close to him. Great finish.
I think Mbengu's got the final touch, the substitute. Looks like it to me, yeah. Mbengu with the final touch. More changes here for Manchester United. And these are interesting ones. We're going to see Manu come on. And he's entering the fray. Weghorst is going off. And Anthony Elanga as well is coming out. And Casemiro will get the applause as he departs. And no surprise. I mean, everyone said at the time, was Casemiro a panic buy? I mean, how can a man of that quality be a panic buy?
I think one of the things that maybe people looked at with him, Adam, was his age. Why is he coming to Manchester United when he's been so successful at Real Madrid? But what a player. And a standing ovation as he's walking off the field there, and rightly so. He's just an absolutely top class person. You can see he's so good around the place. He's always got a smile on his face. But when it comes to picking your first 11, I mean, he must be one of the first names on the team sheet. I mean, what a top class player. What a performance tonight.
I mean, what's interesting here now is this up in energy that we've seen from this Reading side. They've scored that goal, 17 minutes left here. And let's see, could they make it scary with a second? I mean, it was poor defending, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And sometimes you can get to a position in games where you switch off a little bit, and albeit from set pieces. And he just had that free run, and it was a super header. He was brave, and he wanted it more than the Manchester United defenders, and he got his just rewards.
Manu has gone up top for Manchester United. We're going to see another change here, and we're going to see a goalkeeping change as well coming for Reading. We're going to see the introduction of that reserve keeper Dean Bouzanis, the Australian. He's preparing to come on. Now, the curious thing is, do we think Lumley's picked up a knock? He doesn't look like he's had an injury, so maybe it's just to give Bouzanis a chance to play at Old Trafford.
I think you're completely right, Adam. I think it's great from Paul Ince. He probably knows that the game's too far away for him to get anything from now. Certainly down to 10 men, albeit they've just got themselves back into it with that goal. But this is a nice touch. Change of goalkeeper, obviously a couple of other personnel coming onto the field as well. And they might never get this moment again.
Yeah, Shane Long's going to come on, and Michael Craig as well. And Bouzanis did actually play in the game against Watford in round 3, where they were victorious, of course, to get this tie against Manchester United. But I mean, it's good management from Paul Ince. We may have been critical about not taking Andy Carroll off after that first yellow card. Zhao's coming off, and Shane Long will enter the fray. Shane Long actually scored in that victory over Watford. I think they've been a little disappointed since he returned to the club, but he's not delivered more than the 2 goals this season. But it's a 43rd FA Cup appearance for Shane Long, 13 goals to his name in the competition as well. And that was his first FA Cup goal that he scored back was in January 2006, just to make us all feel old. But he'll run around up top now for Reading as we get into the last quarter of an hour of this game. Reading trailing here by 3-1. They're down to 10 men, and an offside flag against them away to our right-hand side. So a reminder, tomorrow, Brighton against Liverpool. That's live on Talksport. 1 o'clock we're underway. It's a 1:30 kickoff. And then Wrexham against Sheffield United is our 4:30 kickoff. Adrian Durham will guide you through both of those games. Maybe tomorrow we'll see that cup upset we're all hankering. Or maybe it's coming on Monday night when Derby play West Ham United. We'll also have the draw just after 7 o'clock for round 5 on Monday night as well. And a reminder, of course, that once we are done here, more live sport. It's a huge weekend of live sport across the Talksport network. Yard against Beterbiev from Wembley at 10 o'clock tonight. The undercard right now with Adam Catterall and Gareth Hayday. This is over on Talksport 2 right now. And talking of Talksport 2, tomorrow morning we've got ODI cricket, South Africa against England, the second of a 3-match series. That's from 7:30 in the morning. And then tomorrow night, of course, we've got NFL for you. We're into the divisional championship matches. Cincinnati Bengals against the Kansas City Chiefs. And of course, we will be your Super Bowl station in 2 weeks' time, of course. Here, we're into the last, 13 minutes or so on Talksport. Manchester United leading the 10 men of Reading by 3-1. Here is a chance maybe for Anthony to just slip a ball through, which he was trying to, but couldn't quite make the pass work towards the edge of the penalty area, where Elanga was waiting. I mentioned as well that we've seen the introduction of the 17-year-old Manu. His only other appearance was a start against Charlton in that League Cup tie here, but he's on as a substitute tonight in his FA Cup debut. Here's Tom Ince, the manager's son, down this right-hand side, charging forward. Oh, he's done brilliantly there, but he's fouled, and it'll be a yellow card that's coming the way of Malacia for his challenge. And you're listening to Manchester United against Reading in the FA Cup, live on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18+. Please drink responsibly. And we're into the last 12.5 minutes. Ricky Gray, I wonder if Reading can steal something from this set piece. Who knows?
Well, they just got to hit and hope, put it into a dangerous area. You can see, I think Man United have certainly switched on a lot more than they did for the corner this time around. They look more organised, but Tom Ince standing over it, won the foul for his side.
And here they come down this right-hand side. Ball clipped in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Juan Bacasa, and it's out to Palestri, who's just trying to spin and turn at the edge of the penalty area. Palestri, of course, on for his first FA Cup appearance. One of the youth team. Again, he was at Alaves last season on loan away from Manchester United. He has an ankle injury this season, which has just kept him out for part of the campaign. Tom Ince has taken a little knock, or is it just frustrated, I think, walking down this near touchline. And they've got 11.5 minutes remaining here. The goals from Casemiro, 2 of them, and from Fred for Manchester United. Goal pulled back by Amadou and Bengu, the substitute for Reading, from a header from a corner. It's badly defended by a Manchester United side who've been fairly brilliant here at Old Trafford defensively in recent weeks, of course. They've only conceded 5 at home in the Premier League all season as well, and 4 have come in that last 10 victories, but Reading managed to breach them tonight. Here's Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand side, gets the ball across the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's well gathered that time by the new keeper for Reading, Dean Bazunis, 32 years of age, the Australian. He's set Ince away down this left-hand side, inside the penalty. He's done brilliantly, cuts it back across the penalty area, chance to get the shot away, and he's just sold Maguire completely inside the box, and Maguire was beaten all ends up. And they're going to be forced outside the penalty area again, down that left-hand side, towards the edge of the box. Reading on the attack once more, as it's pulled back and dealt with by Fred, brilliantly at the edge of the penalty area. And now down that right-hand side, the break is on for Manchester United. And forward they'll come. We've got out on this left-hand side Garnacho, who collects it from Elanga. Garnacho, edge of the box, on the right-footed shot, it's well saved. And again, Garnacho looking like a live wire, and this time it's a comfortable save for Brazanis.
Well, from one end to the other, I have to say, I think Reading should have actually made it 3-2. Fornard does ever so well. Tom Ince initially down this right-hand side plays a lovely little ball into the area. And when he gets Harry Maguire Fornard on the ground, he has a chance to shoot with his right foot. And then he chops the ball again onto his left foot. The opportunity had gone, and then in a split second after that, Manchester United break up the other end with Garnacho. Just tried to curl it round the goalkeeper. Didn't really get his just rewards, but what an open game of football. And I have to give credit to Reading. Down to 10 men. Got themselves a goal. Should have had 2.
Well, here's Shane Long inside the penalty area. Lindelof just holding off of him, and Long just get onto his knees, and then he commits the foul inside the box. Cheeky little tug that time on Malacia, and it will be a free kick for Manchester United inside their own penalty area. 9 minutes to go here at Old Trafford on Talksport. It's Manchester United 3, Reading 1, and as you say, it really is a frustrating moment for Paul Ince, just seeing a replay. He's absolutely raging about Shane Long there. He had him in a good position.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they've had chances, haven't they, Adam? You're thinking, you're down to 10 men, they're going to have to just sit back and keep the score down as much as they possibly can, but they've certainly not done that. They've come to enjoy themselves. Yeah, they're going to go away with nothing. They're going out of the FA Cup, but really, really proud of his players.
On the attack again once more, Manchester United down that right-hand side with Pellistri, and challenge comes in, and it's a good one. It's come off Pellistri, and it'll be out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side for Reading. It was interesting to talk. I talked to Paul Ince a few weeks back when they played against West Bromwich Albion, and we were talking about transfers, and he said, look, we're under an embargo. Not many people know that. The only way I can get players in is to let players go, and I don't have a big enough squad to start letting players go.
Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? And I mean, I was with Alex Ray in the summer. I played a charity match with him, and he told me how much of a difficult job it was going to be, and they've worked wonders. They really have. I mean, really good first half to the season. I just hope they back it up.
Garnacho on the charge again into the penalty area. Those dancing feet of his, looking to cut in on the right hand side, and it's Manu who's thinking about a shot maybe, but it's given to Fred, and it's picked up again by Wan-Bissaka, and now on the right hand side is Anthony once more. Anthony cutting in towards that left foot of his. Here's Fred. Palestri's looking for it out wide on the right hand side. Manu does choose to find him in the end. Pellistri now coming towards the edge of the penalty area. Here's Anthony on that left foot again. And, well, I've lost count, Mickey, as to how many times he's tried that tonight, but we must be approaching double figures nearly. It's high and wide of the goal again.
I mean, it's so frustrating, isn't it? I mean, you see him in spells and you think, right, OK, this is it. He's actually now arrived. Start running at defenders, he's making things happen, he's causing problems to fullbacks. And then you see some of the strikes that he's had tonight. I'm not quite sure on him if he's actually hit the target, and he must have had 5 or 6 at least.
I don't think he has, no. 73,460 are in Old Trafford tonight as Ince goes towards the byline. Ince still going here inside the penalty area. He's just stopped in his tracks by the corner flag, and they'll have a throw down this right-hand side, will Reading, and Bengu is going to come forward to take it. Yiadom is waiting here as well. Corner is lurking towards the edge of the penalty area too, and I think they're going to try and launch this one, and Bengu seems to have a decent throw on him. They've already delivered from one set piece so far of Reading, headed away by Maguire. That's back into the danger zone, and I think Malassi is just going to try and let it run. Izino hacks it into touch on this near side, and it will be a throw in again for Reading down this near touchline. They're down to 10 men, they trail 3-1, but there's no lacking now fight and desire here with 6 minutes remaining.
5 shots he's had, Adam.
And all of them
5
off
shots
target.
And all off target. He tries to keep coming in on that left foot, albeit he's had one with his right foot, which didn't threaten the goal at all in the first half. But his quality's got to be better. But then when you ask Erik ten Hag about him, he said, well, we keep winning games when he's in the starting 11, so why should I leave him out?
Reluctant to change things. He has already contributed, of course, this season. 5 goals since his arrival in his 21 appearances in all competitions. So he's certainly got something to offer. Got his FA Cup account up and running against Everton, of course, in the last round too. But he'd probably like a little bit more accuracy, or at least to be working the goalkeeper with those efforts, because he's getting plenty of them. Here's Maguire from inside his own penalty area, just casually playing the ball out to Fred, and now the counter's on down the left-hand side. Garnacho is on the charge towards the edge of the penalty area. Alanga's inside the box as well. Malassi is on the overlap, just about keeps it in, under pressure. He's got 2 around him, but clever feet, gets the ball out. Garnacho again, wide position on this left-hand side for Manchester United. In towards Fred. Mano just gets it out wide to that right-hand side, whereas Wan-Bissaka is waiting. Here's Anthony. And now on that far touchline to gather possession is Pellistri, but it's going to come to Wan-Bissaka once more. Instead of delivering into the box, though, we just go a little deeper. Mano to Wan-Bissaka, edge of the penalty area. There's Fred, nice one too with Anthony, who then tries to snip in Pellistri, who's on the charge, and that's going to run out of play, and it will be a goal kick to Reading away to our left-hand side.
Well, they're enjoying their football right now, Manchester United. The little intricate passes around the edge of the 18-yard area, everybody wanting a touch of the ball, trying to show off their skills and tricks, because I think they know that they're going to round 5 in the FA Cup, but you still want more. They're not the finished article, I think we know that. They've been on a terrific run, albeit take away that defeat from Arsenal, where they could have actually got something from the game. But you can sense something happening here at Manchester United. But again, you still think, do they need another 3 or 4 players to really catapult them towards that Premier League title and winning trophies?
Manu again charging forward. Garnacho gets it across. Oh, it's a slip from Anthony when he's about 8 yards out from goal. And really it was easier to get a good connection and put that in the back of the net, but he slips over. And it's out of play on that far side for a throw, or corner should I say, to Manchester United.
Well, I mean, you sat alongside me here and we're seeing replays of this. He's got nobody within 7 or 8 yards. Can he not take a touch? No, is it panicking? Is he frustrated because he's not been able to hit the target all night? He's got so much time to have a touch, have a look where the goalkeeper is, make the goalkeeper commit himself, play at either side of him and just slot that ball into the back of the net. If you're bringing somebody in for 70, 80 million pounds, you expect more.
Yeah, certainly expect better than that, that's for sure. They've taken the corner short here and they've worked it actually from the right side to the left. Garnacho again towards the byline. It'll be another corner, this time down the left-hand side in front of that Stretford end, and we're into the final 3 minutes here. Reminder, more live sport coming your way here on Talksport. The boxing is up and running at Wembley already. We'll be live there just after 10 o'clock tonight. Best team in the business. Adam Catterall, Gareth A. Davis, of course. Andy Clark will be giving you the blow-by-blow account of the game, of the fight, should I say. And, of course, we've got more live football for you tomorrow, with 2 more FA Cup ties as well. And we've got ODI cricket on Talksport too. And we've got NFL tomorrow night too. Big weekend of sport across the Talksport network. Download that app. Take you with us wherever you go. And of course, on Monday morning with Laura and Ali on Talksport Breakfast, now round up the weekend's action. In particular, all of this FA Cup action. Plus, of course, look forward to that tie between Derby and West Ham, and the draw for the 5th round. A reminder, the 5th round takes place midweek at the end of February as well, because of the congestions in the fixtures, courtesy of that Winter World Cup, of course, which almost feels like a lifetime ago now. Here's Lindelof just inside the Manchester United half. 2 minutes plus added time to play here. Down that right hand side, it's Maguire into the feet of Anthony. Anthony tries to set Wan-Bissaka away on that far touchline. He holds the ball up, back into Anthony. Here he comes again, cutting in on that left foot. This time he goes into Palestri. First touch is good. Just tries to cut it across the edge of the 6-yard box. But that's a decent bit of defending from Holmes that time. And it's out for another corner on the far side to Manchester United.
Yeah, excellent defending. Staying switched on to the final whistle from Holmes there. Seeing that nice little turn from Palestri. Keeping an eye on the ball. As a defender, you should do that. Keeping the ball away from your goal as much as you possibly can. Nobody's let anybody down in that Reading shirt, apart from, you have to say, Andy Carroll. It was just crazy. I was going
to say, there's one exception.
Yeah, but the rest of them have given absolutely everything. They've been a credit to their football club.
Anthony again. Well, that may have been on target with his shot from the edge of the box, but it's blocked at the edge of the 6-yard area, and it's another corner on that far side for Manchester United. We're into the final minute here at Old Trafford on Talksport. Manchester United looking like they're safely through to round 5 of the FA Cup. We're going to have 4 minutes, we understand, added at the end of this game. But first of all, it's a corner for Manchester United on the far side, which Fred's going to deliver towards the near post. Lindelof was arriving, but it's hacked clear, and there'll be another throw on that far side, which I'm sure Fred will take, and everything being done at very much a walking pace, with Reading, of course, down to 10 men.
Well, I know the tie itself is done and dusted, but that's the last couple of corners that Manchester United have had. One from Anthony and another one from Fred, where they've not beaten the first man. And you're a centre-half coming up, running 60, 70 yards. You expect better quality than that.
It's going to be a free kick for a foul for Reading. Away to our left-hand side. They are, of course, going to be back in action in the Championship. Watford, Sunderland, Rotherham, Cardiff and Blackpool up next for them. Certainly doesn't get any easier for Manchester United, of course. They've got that second leg of the League Cup tie, which you can hear live here on Talksport on Wednesday night. 3-0 up, of course, against Forest in that one. Then it's Crystal Palace at home, and then back-to-back games against Leeds, home and away. And then just a small match of Barcelona in the Europa League to come as well.
Yeah,
it's non-stop, isn't it?
Well, it's the fixtures that they wanted to be involved in, Adam, isn't it? I mean, they've been so far away from challenging.
Here's Ince for Reading, slipping it down this right-hand side towards Shane Long. Long has got the attention of Malacia. He'll go back to Mbengu, who pops that in the middle towards the young substitute Michael Craig. And now a chance down this left-hand side for Garnacho, who's away inside the penalty area. Garnacho looking to cut in on his right foot, and in the end, and Bengu back doing some really good defending, and it just works its way into the arms of Buzanis. And Garnacho is denied once more.
It was fantastic defending yet again, but he shouldn't have actually been given the opportunity to make the challenge in the first place. A little bit of naivety there from a young man, Garnacho, who's got so much talent. Played through by Alange, just had to play it through with his left foot. There was 2 or 3 players just... Did I just hear that right?
Well, there is disbelief around Old Trafford because, as ever in the stadium, the sponsors get to choose their man of the match, and Anthony has been chosen as man of the match. I don't think I've ever heard a stadium in such disbelief. Casemiro with 2 goals for Manchester United tonight in this 3-1 what will be victory against Reading, and Anthony... maybe Casemiro doesn't like meeting sponsors and people like that. Maybe that's why Anthony's got the nod.
I really can't believe that. I really cannot believe it. I mean, there was not one round of applause from anybody in this stadium.
There was a rumble of astonishment, Mickey, I think is the phrase that springs to mind. Shane Long is on the charge on the other side, and he's there against Lindelof, and it's shepherded out of play, and Manchester United will have the throw on the other side. I don't usually comment on these things, but that makes me laugh. But apparently it's picked by the TV people tonight as well, and Lee Dixon has chosen Anthony as man of the match as well. I would say Mickey could speak now, but he's open-mouthed. If only you could see him.
I can't believe that. I really can't believe it. I mean, I'm not going to criticise Lee Dixon. He's a knowledgeable guy and he's fantastic, but wow.
Palestri on that far side gets it back to Anthony, edge of the penalty area. On that left foot, swings the ball in. The man of the match just lifts it in, and Bengu heads it up in the air, and it's well gathered that time away to our left-hand side by Dean Buzanis. Well, it may mean I get to talk to Anthony after the game, so that, that could be an interesting moment. I'll get his thoughts on that left foot of his and the amount of efforts he's had off target tonight. Break down that right-hand side for Manchester United. Could be the defending that time by the youngster Menu, who is just 17 years of age. And it will be a free kick or a throw on the far side, I think, to Manchester United. Darren England being very finicky about where this is taken, given we're in the 94th minute of 94. And Manchester United are leading by 3-1 here against Reading. And it's going to be Maguire who will bring it out from the back for United as the clock ticks down. Round of applause from Paul Ince towards the Reading fans away to our right-hand side, who are still singing and they're still chanting as the final whistle goes at Old Trafford. And Manchester United are safely through to round 5 of the FA Cup. Casemiro with 2, Fred with 1, and a late consolation for the 10 men of Reading, scored by the substitute Amadou and Bengu. Reading's performance, courageous, passionate, wholehearted, there's no doubt about that. Maybe a little too much from Andy Carroll, who rightly saw red for 3 really bookable offences. He only got the 2 yellow cards, obviously, but it was foolish from him and ruined his night maybe for his Reading team. But tonight, all about Casemiro and maybe a little bit about Marcus Rashford, who was denied that 10th consecutive goal in home appearances for Manchester United, having been substituted. But it is round 5 that beckons for United as it's finished here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 3, Reading 1.
Thank you very much, Adam. No question over the quality of Casemiro's goals. No question over Carroll's red card either. Question over the selection of Anthony as player of the match, Mickey.
Oh dear me, Faye. I mean, I was half trying to explain Garnacho breaking into Reading's 18-yard box at the time, and I just heard it come over the tannoy, and I thought I'd actually heard it wrong. I mean, my goodness. Look, he did some things in the first half that were quite special, but when it comes down to quality and 6 or 7 shots wide of Reading's goal, should I say, look, he's definitely not going to be mine, let's put it that way. But I have to say, I mean, it was a bit of a breeze eventually for Man United, but that stupidity from Andy Carroll, where he just had this red mist go through his head for about 10 minutes. Should have had a yellow card from that challenge on Christian Eriksen, got away with that one. But I think Paul Ince should have maybe had a look at that and maybe brought him off. But 2 stupid challenges after that, and made it so difficult for his side when they went down to 10 men after 65 minutes. And then after that, it was going to be easy for Man United. but they fought Reading all the way to the end. Credit to Paul Ince, his players, every single one of them apart from Andy Carroll. Full credit to them and their support as well. They've had a great day out.
Yeah, never really threatened Manchester United, did they, despite that consolation goal. But attention for United now turns to that big Carabao Cup semi-final second leg against Nottingham Forest. It's live on